Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Um, dum 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 dum. Just all the sound effects. You're getting all of them today. Oh, so yes, we were off last week. I was at a wedding, as was my lovely wife. It was not our wedding; it was a
Oh my
friend's
god,
wedding.
you got married?
Oh my god!
Elope arc. Yes.
That's my favorite One Piece storyline.
Eloping in East Belfast.
So yes, we weren't here last week. I hope everybody had a good week. Nonetheless, of course, it's never quite as good without Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons, but you know what it is. Yes, hello from Twitchoku. Well, thank you, Twitchoku, rather, for coming in and doing an unofficial raid. Twitchoku,
Yes.
Twitchoku, for those of you who don't know, Cass, I'll actually let you explain.
There was an idea. No, I'm kidding. Twitchoku is a fun little concept project that I run, which features seven wonderful streamers and myself. I feel it's kind of arrogant to call myself that. Running a Pokemon tournament challenge where you challenge 8 gyms and you qualify for a big tournament. We got our first ever champion crowned today, Belay Bishop. I was just there before coming on here, and I let people know that we were playing some D&D after, if they felt like coming by after the tournament. It's a wonderful thing. We have a Discord for it. I'll just drop the Discord for it now. Swing by and come and try and get yourself involved for season 2 if you're not already there. If you're not already there, I mean, most of you probably are if you've just come over from there. But it was a wonderful tournament. Everyone did so well. The quality of play was insane, man. It's like, when you watch something like kind of niche, but people do it really well. You're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, I imagine most people. I have no interest in competitive Pokemon, but that was a saucy play. It was pretty saucy.
Watching instruments you've never heard of before be performed flawlessly.
Literally, like there was
Jesus, that Glockenspiel solo was something else.
Like I have actual favorite.
I'm actually quite proficient in Glockenspiel.
What? You need to play us the Glockenspiel.
I have these favorite plays in my head from these past 2 weekends of Pokemon like that. Oh my god, when they did that was insane. And I would tell someone this. I'd be like, so they switched in on a defog, a contrary superior, to give the superior +1 evasion. People look at me like, what? Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
Audience, bitch.
But it's so good. It's so good.
Yes. So that is Twitchoku. Go show it some love. I don't know when the next conference, which is what Twitchoku calls tournaments. I don't know when the next conference is.
Season 2 is starts when Nat Dex Gen 9 comes out. So after the release of Scarlet Violet. And then the conference will be a few months into that, most likely. Okay.
Well, there you go. If you're into Pokemon, you can go. You can try and get into that. It's very fun. The community is great. I don't compete, but I like the community. I watch the streams. It is very, very good.
I only do it so I can prove I can beat Cass.
Yes, you can beat my mono-type dragon team. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, no, but you're not explaining the rule set properly. You basically have to keep more or less the same team for like
So basically,
for all the leaders. So it's not just me like picking a team that can beat your mono dragon team. Don't sell me short here.
You pick 6 Pokemon. You start on a gym leader, and then after each gym you can change 1. And the whole point is you have to build a team with this conference in mind and the next gym in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. And the teams we saw were really unique. Were really unique. It was like some just like insane plays, like Tapu Lele, man. Tapu Lele was like the beast of the tournament. And everyone picked that to hard counter me.
That's why I brought it into my team originally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so great like not little project, great proper side project.
Huge.
Huge. So go show it some love. It deserves it. Trying to think of anything else. Obviously, everybody here, other than currently Eli, who I believe is going on a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, I'm currently doing hiatus stuff. I'll still be like between here and when we swap over to the other channel, doing D&D stuff between this and some other stuff that I'll be running as well. You can find me on Amateurish Productions on Wednesdays playing WoW with the wonderful Ben and Katie and some other lovely folk. In the meantime, I'm working on like more kind of like blog writing stuff at the minute. I will have the first blog piece I've done in ages up within like the next 24 hours. So follow me on Twitter, which is twitter.com/harborlord. I will be posting links to where I'm posting that there. So that'll be the easiest place. If you like League of Legends and are following Worlds at the minute, you'll get a good kick out of it, or it'll make you really fucking mad. I kind of hope it's the latter one, just for the reaction engagement. But keep an eye out there.
Yeah, that's, you know, even if one of us does take a hiatus, we're still present on the internet. We are human beings in the year 2022. So,
speak for yourself. I'm a gypsy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Darcy's not a human; she's an object. She's a woman.
Someone's clipping that and putting it out of context.
Alright, we'll go ahead and grab that.
It's perfectly in context.
I approve this message. I promise it has not been doctored in any way.
It's okay. Darcy's got a degradation kink. It's fine. It works.
They're listen, yes.
I came here for a good time, and honestly, you're all attacking me.
Were any lies told?
That you're getting a good time. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you had like a Hearthstone deck and you were attacking your opponent's Hearthstone deck, and it was like deteriorating the cards like to lower mana qualities, would it be like a degradation deck? Is that what that'd be?
There's a lot of build up in that.
It'd be a meltdown.
There's a lot of like build up in that, Chris, for a pretty good, but the build up lowered it kind of joke.
I felt the build up was good, Chris. I enjoyed that.
Hey
Thank
man,
you. I appreciate that.
The only key I do is Grimrail Depot because I love 5-man trains.
All right.
There you go. Brevity is the soul of wit. That's just.
Wait,
that's
is
it.
this a 5-man train?
Well,
Four.
it depends.
1, 2, 3,
I mean,
4,
no.
5.
Technically, it's a 1 because the other 4 of us in here are non-binary. So
It's like a 1.8 man train.
yeah.
Show-
So
show-
Should we play some D&D, lads?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
very quickly. Next week we will not be here because we will be over at Advanced_Dungeons over on the. Pretty sure somebody's logged in right now. If somebody wants to send in the chat,
It's
Yeah.
still
There we
on
go.
Twitch, by the way.
Yes, still on Twitch. But over at Advanced_Dungeons, we will be playing there every Sunday from now on. Same time, same day in the week, everything
Same
like that.
bat time, same
Same
bat
bat
channel.
channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's going to function exactly as it did before. I'm still going to handle all production-y stuff behind the scenes and shit. Cass is still going to crack shitty jokes. And sometimes good ones too, on occasion.
Alright.
But yeah, it's all going to be pretty much the same, guys. It's what you get here every week. But
Yeah.
just on a more centralized channel now.
What the fuck? I swear I followed this channel. I was like the first follower. Why? Why'd I have to follow that? Am I a hater?
Well, Gaslit General strikes again.
Oh my god. Anyway,
so-
make sure that you're following the channel too, because apparently
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Go make sure you're following.
Yeah,
the
neither
channel.
was I.
I'll
will
go
be
make
streaming-
Twitchoku official do it. Hang on.
I will be streaming there at some point during the week to be the first stream. I'm probably just going to play some games, get a couple of hours in, do the affiliate grind. And after that, you'll find us there regularly. So
19 follows. We need 50 to get to 50.
Yeah.
So
we're not far off. So
thank you for the follow, Science Maple. Appreciate it.
with that, if there's nothing else to announce,
Shall we begin?
let's get into this week's episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons. Oh, that was a lovely video. It's lovely every week. Welcome back, everybody. So, last we left off 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. Just making sure that I hadn't experienced some sort of time dilation.
It was 16 years, Mux. It was 16 years. We're gaslighting you.
The accident was 5 years ago, Mux. You have to let me go.
What year is it?
Cass, you were real in the first place?
No, Cass. We've spoken about this. Cass is a G word. So,
I wish they would travel outside our memories. Ugh.
2 weeks ago on Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons, the group that you see here today was on a little bit of a dungeon run. They went into the Undercroft, which is this kind of underground relic of a bygone era beneath True Arms Academy. It was used mostly by the history classes to kind of show this is how things were, go and have a study, see how you treat relics. You know, sometimes we'll put things down here, you go find it, and then we'll do restoration classes, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, the Undercroft is no longer there. There seemed to have been a little bit of a mix-up, and by mix-up I mean explosion, wherein a portal to the Feywild opened up within the Undercroft. Being a very heavily magic and arcane center of power, True Arms often attracts this kind of thin veil between the Feywild and the material plane. As the group ventured further, they fought. They made their way through rooms that were relics of their ages, and eventually came to battle with a large troll, hobgoblin, orc, plant creature that none of them were quite sure what it was, but it was dangerous nonetheless. As the fight finished, they watched as the creature began to glow and vibrate and hum, and very quickly deduced, we need to leave. This thing is going to blow up. Luckily, they all managed to do so. Unluckily, the Undercroft is currently no more. The group returned to... each of the separate groups returned to where they were going. Crone returned to his history class, and the three other party members here, Drazian, Kyler, and Tala?
Tari?
Sorry.
Can't remember your wife's character? Fucking hell, Mux.
Do you know how many
Divorced,
characters? Do you know how many characters she has? Yeah, exactly. Every other day. I was thinking about this from a character's backstory.
There's the doctor. There's the prison guard.
There's the librarian.
There's the teacher.
But with this,
Just the woman who works at Greg's.
You're at love. You want sausage roll?
Literally.
New character idea.
I'll give you a sausage roll.
This is what happens when we leave it for more than a week.
Yeah,
We're so dumb, dude.
it builds up. We need to let it out. This after this occurrence, maybe about 1.5 to 2 hours has passed before the four of you are called to the kind of administration / teacher's room of True Arms.
Is Geraldine still with us at this point, or is Geraldine fucked off?
Geraldine is with you guys at this point, but she is staying silent because she doesn't really know what happened because she was just playing Getaway Shark. So, she has been called with, but she's staying mainly quite quiet.
Getaway Shark's such a banger.
Getaway Shark, Getaway Shark.
Parenthood's done wonders, hasn't it?
Parenthood has ruined me. I'm a greater man and a much lesser man for being a parent. But as you're all called into this room, Kronk did get the statues last time.
I did.
That is something I do. I want to make it very clear. Kronk got the possibly 2 now only remaining relics of the Undercroft.
That the professor did specifically tell me not to touch, but I did think it was a
It was a good idea to save them.
That was a special scenario.
As the 5 of you, 5 with Geraldine there, approach the kind of main administration room, it's a slightly different experience than you've had before, because anytime you've been to kind of where like somebody in charge in this school is, you've been teleported to Avadar's office, and you're not quite sure where the actual entrance to Avadar's office, or if it does have an actual entrance and the only way in and out of it is via some sort of teleportation spell. But this is different, as you're now stood in this kind of old stone hallway. The floor is very smooth slate tile, and the walls are this kind of marbling effect. In front of the 5 of you is a large, big enough like for Kronk to fit through it comfortably, and possibly somebody even larger than Kronk, which isn't like too unusual considering there's like Loxodons at the school and such, unlike the elephant folk. But as you stand in front of this large wooden door that has, it's this really deep dark brown color. There's metal plaque on the center of it that just reads staff lounge, and then this kind of large brass knocker and like handle that you turn, but it's, do you know the really old school handles that like you don't hold it down like that? What? Because it was like this.
No, knocker. It was the huge knocker. It took everything to me not to say hardly nowhere. It was like,
okay, goodbye, Chris. The joke was too funny. The joke was too funny.
As we traverse the hallway, Kyle's gonna look at Kronk and be like, Kronk, do you think you're made of buildings, or buildings are made of you?
I feel like you asked me this question once before to try to make me feel funny. But I feel like if I was going to be made of anything, I'd be made of the mountains where I came from. Like some of the really hard mountaintops where I came from.
So you're like a mountain. That's cool. Okay.
So the buildings are made out of him, basically.
Yeah. Like, but also, who goes up on the mountaintops and says, "Oh, I want mountaintop stone for me building"? That they go and say, "Oh, I want," if you're playing Finecraft, then you dig stone out of the stuff on the ground. You don't go up top, right?
You never know. Some people might go to the mountains.
Of course, Drazian would, because he's kind of a pain in the ass. But everybody else, normally,
I've never been to a mountain. Actually, now I think about it, I've never been more than 200 meters above sea level.
Well, I could take you to my village, and we could maybe do some breath training on the way up. You might benefit from that, or maybe there's a spell for it or something, because it is pretty high up.
I know
it gets kind of chilly.
I know
Tyler
some of the.
Go ahead.
I know some of the places that I've been to. That live by the mountains. They would use the stone from those mountains to make their buildings more sturdy. So.
It's true. Sometimes we would actually get people to come up and be like, "Hey, can we have your stone?" And we'd be like, well, if you ask really nicely and perhaps compensate us some, then sure. We're very friendly about it. We like to think that the stone on top of the mountain is tougher than the stone on the bottom because it has to endure so much more weather and foul elements at the top. Because if you think about it, clouds are in the sky. They're not on the ground most of the time, right? And so all this stuff that's happening in clouds, I don't know, rain, all that stuff, lightning, it's all up in the clouds. Snow, that one too, yeah? It's all up in the clouds. And so it's like, woo, all of that.
I know what you mean, Kronk.
That's a good one.
Kyler is kind of low-key dragging the Trina absent-mindedly along this floor that's been fucking polished. It's it's 3 thin lines.
Three thin lines and 6 very thin lines of dust as Trina is kind of leaving this scrape. You won't notice it walking on it, but if you ran your finger along it, you'd feel the tiniest bit of a dunk.
Yeah.
As this conversation, in which Kronk is making a little bit too much sense for my liking, as this conversation is coming to a close, you are at now the staff lounge in this large door. The brass turning handle is there, and if you were most normal students, you would probably feel a little bit intimidated here. Whether you guys, as students, knowing the exploits that you've had, feel intimidated, that's entirely up to yourselves. But Geraldine is keeping towards the back of the group because she, like I said, she wasn't there. She doesn't really know what she's saying, so she's just kind of like, I'll just let you guys do whatever you need to do.
It was a shockingly good impression. What's the intimidation modifier on the door?
What is this critical role?
Yeah, what's the door's intimidation modifier?
How big is the handle on the door?
It's big enough that you could hold it comfortably and turn it with one hand. Most other people would probably need to do it with 2.
Krog just puts a hand on the door to feel it, just how big the handle is. He doesn't turn it or anything. I don't know if everybody else is waiting on him to turn it, but he just feels it just to see if it's ergonomically comfortable.
It is quite comfortable. It fills most of your palm, which most handles do not do for the size of the being that you are.
Mm-hmm.
It fills most of your palm as you kind of put your hand on it, and you feel the cold metal against your your fingertips in your palm. Whether or not that does anything to whether you're ready to go in here or not.
It's a voluptuous knocker.
It is. It's a large knocker.
Hardly
quite perky knockers. Yeah. So, who's the first to knock on the door or turn the handle? Or
Kyle's just gonna jerk his head go on.
Kyle's jerking at the knocker. Okay.
Yeah. Giving a firm.
This is a really comfortable. This is a really comfortable turn thing right here. Handle is what it's called. I think doorknob. That's it. Found it. Maybe a big guy lives in here. You guys want to talk to a big guy? What's admin mean? Are we in trouble?
An admin is a general, right?
Oh,
like someone
like a
who
champion.
administrates. It comes from administratus, which means like to administer.
As
All
this
right.
little exchange is happening, Tari, you kind of grasp it in the dungeon. It's now really, truly sinking in the kind of people that Drazian is currently aligning himself with.
Yeah, I just throw Tari a look, and I'm
Fucking
like,
morons.
I'm like, I communicate with Tari through our usual telepathic lines. I'm just like, don't say anything. Just let them go at it. This is a regular thing.
I just want to go my sympathies for being stuck with them for so long.
They're not the worst. You get used to it.
Should I turn this door handle, you think?
That is the done thing, I believe.
Do you call me a dumb thing?
No, I said it's the thing to do.
Oh,
Done
alright.
thing.
And as this little exchange is going on, before Kronk
Oh my god, he's possessed!
before Kronk can turn the doorknob, you hear the kind of clank of the metal locks turning, and it opens from the other side.
Crux is still holding onto the handle.
Crux
So he
is still
does
there.
follow the...
And as you do that, kind of traveling between the space between you and the door is a rather androgynous looking dwarf. Long hair that doesn't have the usual kind of coarse roughness of a male dwarf, but a full beard, very like doughy eyes, and you're not quite sure what gender they are. And they
They
kind
don't
of
have the detect pronouns cantrip.
yeah, it's called asking.
No, it's just one of the cantrips I added. Detect pronouns.
Um, so as this dwarf kind of like passes the space between you and the door, takes like about 5 steps down the hallway, stops, looks back at all of you. As Kronk is now kind of like almost doing like the Michael Jackson, like lean forward, hold feet still where they were, but holding onto the doorknob as it is now opened.
I don't have really permission to go into the office. How big are your hands?
The dwarf just holds up one of their hands.
Kronk,
Seems like a normal
Kronk
dwarf
goes
size.
up and like...
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Is it difficult for you to open the door? Like, why is the doorknob this big? Do you live in this room? Or are you just visiting?
Are you the administrator?
Administrator Kirito. No, the dwarf kind of looks at you and looks back at the group and goes, I'm going to assume that you lot are here to see a member of staff.
Yeah, we were summoned here. We were in a situation in the Undercroft as part of the herbology and magical beast class, and we assume that's what we've been summoned up here for.
Right.
More
Oh.
Yeah,
Go
more
on.
specifically, not so much the class as the whole. You know, like,
Yeah,
you know, like
it did explode. The
Oh.
Undercroft is no longer really...
I
I
felt
did
it.
save 2 statues.
Good. I felt it. Don't worry. I'm not the administrator. I'm just one of the professors here. I only teach second years and up though, so you won't get me till next year.
Oh, what's your name? What are your pronouns? What you teach?
I'm Professor Olling. You'll see what I teach next year. It's one of the compulsory classes.
Smart.
You'll find out then.
job security.
And as they kind of turn away, you see now another dwarf coming into the hallway. And Olling kind of goes, Professor. And the other dwarf, who's evidently another professor, turns around and goes, Olling, what's happening? You ready to go class? yeah, let's go. And they just both carry on their way. You're not quite sure what they teach, but obviously because they didn't tell you. But maybe you'll find out in the future. As this little exchange that goes away from you, there's a voice from inside the admin, like the staff room admin lounge, that kind of turns back to you and goes, "Well, are you going to come in?"
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
As you turn
Walking.
around, you see this primate-looking humanoid, very like monkey-like features, very like leathery skin, surrounded by kind of hair that like almost like circles around the face and is swept back. Looks like a gorilla standing up on like two legs, and kind of turns and goes, "I'm going to assume that you are the perpetrators of the incident earlier today."
Whoa,
I don't think perpetrator is the correct.
Well, perpetrator?
I-
I hardly know her.
I apologize. The common of white fawn is not my first. What
Oh,
would
okay.
be not perpetrators? The ones
Witnesses?
involved.
Yeah, that would be
yeah.
about right. We're the ones that stopped the Feyweld getting through into the school. That would be about correct.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess,
You will not know me. I am Professor Raff. I am the dean of student activities here at Truong's Academy. You may see me more often as time continues to go on, but I essentially take charge of anything that happens outside of expected school activities, making sure our students are okay. If you need to talk to me, if you need therapy, I can arrange that for you. If there's anything you need, I can do that. I am here to talk to you. If you would like to sit down, there's plenty of seats here. I made sure that the staff lounge was empty for this exchange.
What kind of seats are there? I need to know.
They're like big leather, like sofa chairs, like couches that you know the ones that you sit on and you
just sink into, yeah.
You sink into them. There's a faint smell of like smoke in the air. It's giving very much like 70s teachers lounge.
I think Kyler's gonna take. Is it like, are they like around the table? Like, what's the seat?
Yeah, they all kind of face into the central coffee table.
Yeah, Kyler's gonna go to like the far end and kind of like starfish onto one of them and go, woof, and just get kind of lost among the leather a bit. I was about to ask what color they are, but
What
they're like that usual kind of like. I'm gonna say this, and I know it's gonna cause three of you to laugh, but it's like that usual kind of like dirty tan color.
I'm sure they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great to
Like
see his
the
corpses
other
were put to
kind.
good use.
The leather's a little bit cracked. It's definitely got some like use and wear to it. But because it's been used, it's broken in really well, and you do just sink into it.
No worries.
Before Kronk finds the most dad chair-esque seat, he goes, can I see how big your hands are?
Raph puts his hands out, and his palm isn't as big as yours, but the length of his fingers actually pushes it slightly over the total size of your hand. He has very like elongated fingers due to being kind of like a simian creature. So
I bet that doorknob's comfy for you, isn't it?
that is not a statement that I've heard before, but it does not bother me. No.
All right. Okay. And Crump goes,
I just sat down.
Yeah. Geraldine finds a space beside you, and Tari, what about yourself?
Yeah, no, she just like sits politely down, like without saying anything, just going.
Uh, as you all kind of take your seats, Raph looks around and goes, "So I am to understand that what has happened is that you were in separate classes. One of you was in history, and the other four were in a hybrid class of Introduction to Magical Beasts and Herbology."
That's correct. We were originally supposed to have Professor Udas, but as he is indisposed, shall we say, we had Professor Vassi instead. And we were they had taken us down into this almost underground cave type area to investigate some plants. Geraldine here found this poisonous weed looking thing. Professor Vassi immediately went, "This is bad. I need you all to come with me." So summoned Kyler, Geraldine, Tari, and myself to go through an underwater cavern and back and into the Undercroft, in which we came across a portal to the Feywild and essentially had to stop it. To which, before it was fully closed, a creature that looked like halfway between a hobgoblin and a troll came through. We dispatched it, but then the gem in its chest started pulsing, and yeah, it essentially looked like it was going to explode, so we all got out of there at Professor's instructions.
Explode, got out of there at Professor's instructions.
everybody ran, but I feel like people forgot that I had a teleport e-cape. So I grabbed the professor and I used my teleport e-cape. I feel like that was the easiest way to go.
It probably was, but if I am correct in saying that your cape is a cape of the mountebank,
Yeah, that's right. That's really good. Yay!
you can only take one other creature with you.
Huh. Well, I guess I've only tried to take one other creature ever. Oh, that's
If you
interesting.
if you try to take more than one, it basically becomes a 50-50 chance of who gets it.
Oh,
But
that's dangerous.
it's quite
Oh,
dangerous.
exciting.
It's also very easy of a way to, I can't decide who to save. I will grab you both and the luck of the draw. But
Ooh, that's very interesting. Oh, it could just be a carnival game once a day, I guess.
now your friend here gave a statement. Do all of you agree? Is there anything about the statement that you witnessed that conflicts the evidence and the statement that he has gave?
So I'm not too clued up on my participles. Is like I get you, like it's not my first language either. But Drazen said portal to the Feywild, but it was made in the Feywild. So would it be a portal from the Feywild? Is that how it would work?
Technically, a portal. There are many theories about the exact workings behind portals. Some believe it is simply a gate. It cuts open a hole between the two planes, and one correlates to another. Some believe that it is a unique method of a theory where 2 points that are far apart from each other get smooshed together to the same point in space. Doing this then rips open both of those locations, opening a portal. So technically, even if it is a portal from, it is still a portal to, because it is a two-way street.
That's a gate.
It is a gate. If it was in a situation where it is only one that you could go through, then it would be to or from. But I do not believe there are currently any portal spells that I know of that do such things.
So
TP.
it's more like a quantum entanglement than a black hole, is what you're saying.
Correct. I'm
I
surprised,
look at Croc. What the fuck?
Oh, gotcha. Well, every day's a school day.
Do you
We're
still
not
have
in
your
trouble,
headband of
are we?
intellect on?
Yeah, I've got mine on.
Kronk
Well,
just
actually,
read.
Kronk and
Kronk
Kyla
read
have
those
it
words.
tied together. It's cut in
I look
half.
over at Tracy and I'm like, well,
French,
there are
French
theories about
bracelets.
black holes being tied to things called white holes, but we've never seen anything called white holes that expel the black holes somewhere else. It doesn't make as much sense because black holes obviously are collapsed stars that are as a point of infinite gravity that
Have you
captures
been reading your
everything.
homework?
I read a book in the tower. I like reading the books in the towers.
Well, yeah, you read it very well. That's really good
you.
job, Kronk. I'm very impressed.
It was something called a brief history of seconds, I think, by Stephen Falconwing. I think is what it was.
Teach, professor,
Yes.
sensei. We're not in trouble, are we? I mean, like,
No, this is why I'm here to ask these questions. Essentially, we do have situations such as this on a somewhat regular occurrence, but with each comes the formalities and was this an attack or was it just nature being shitty or you're not going to get in trouble as long as statements match. I will need to talk to, and he points to Tari. I will need to talk to you and ask for a few questions of yourself. I am aware that the rest of this party has traveled together before. You, however, have not traveled with them. So I will need a moment just to make sure that you're not being coerced into agreeing with what they say. It is again, it's simply a formality. But I will do that in a moment. Go ahead.
Just wanted to clarify something. Now, the way the professor described it is that basically because of the magical discharge that arises in the school at times, sometimes things like this can happen where because of all the extra magical energy, some things that aren't supposed to be here, like portals and fissures and magical growths, etc., occasionally appear. Because my first question to them was the school compromised? Had someone got into the school or given away secrets in the school that wasn't to be given? That was my first question, but according to the professor, this was just more than likely a result of magical discharge.
The professor was probably correct. In this school, events such as these are sort of like a rat infestation. It doesn't happen all the time, but once every couple of months, somebody sees something. It is not something to worry about too much. There is, of course, a history of attacks being carried out against the school, so we must always be careful, we must always be sure. Hence these formalities. So in this space, I just ask that you be truthful, you be honest. If you did do anything that led to this, I appreciate that you may be worried. If it was an accident, I simply ask that you tell us and we can get it sorted. There will be disciplinary, but we will make it very light. It will simply be to make sure that the other students know that they can't just get away with it. Of course, if this was a planned attack, none of you would tell us. But if we are suspicious to a level of that, then we have paladins that can come in and cast Zone of Truth, and you will have to tell us the answer. Be honest with us. But we don't like to resort to that. We like to harbor a environment of trust and safety. So we let the students tell the truth first.
With I think,
Yeah, you go.
Professor, with all due respect to yourselves and the rest of the faculty, the last thing we want is to compromise the safety of this academy. This is, for want of a better word, we all come from places far from here. This is our home, as far as things go, and would want to make sure everything is kept safe here. So if there's anything that we can do to further assist, I can't speak for the rest of the group. It's not my job to speak for other people, but I know I'm more than happy to assist in any way to make sure that the school stays safe. So feel free to ask any further information that you'd like, and we'll do our best to answer as fully and help as fully as we can.
Just before you speak there, Carl, he kind of nods and he goes, I appreciate it. With all due respect to yourself as well, your group has been here 2 weeks and you've already had a professor been involved in an attack, went on a field trip to Hell's Prairie, and now involved in an explosion in the Undercroft. I do not think you have any bad intentions, but you must understand how this looks.
Professor, Professor, with, like, and again, no one's ever said all due respect and kind of meant it, right? That's like one of those things you say. But like,
I was being a little bit disrespectful, I will admit.
I think you were, but I respect.
So is your friend. It is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, no one says it and means it, right? It's like, oh, no offense. But like, then you say something. It's like, no offense. You have great hair. It's never anything like that. But look, yeah, okay. Hell's Prairie was a bit scuffed. That is true. However, we got an apology from the headmaster saying that he kind of dropped us in the deep end with that one, and we did our best, and we will be receiving an official report written, and you can kind of see and examine our conduct from that rather than, dare I say, rumor. And also, what happened there was Professor Vassi, detecting this infestation, thought to solicit the help of the highest ranked students in the year available to him, which was myself, Geraldine the Silent, and Drazian the Loud, and then wanted some weird mind power person, and lo and behold, there was one, and like, whoa. And then we ran into Kronk, who's just like the ultimate good swordfish. So like, I mean, listen, like, I'm sure there's someone who can like reverse time or rebuild the stone. I mean, you've got the centaur dude who does the stone. Like, just put the stone back. I mean, it's just rocks.
You can ask Professor Asus. When I was down in the Undercroft, I was very, very eager to be with my friends once I saw them. That is true. But I didn't like set anything up to go down in there. I didn't even know what an Undercroft was. I was just having fun in the class.
No, again, there is no. I do honestly believe that there is no bad intentions from all of you. I do not feel any such harboring resentment.
What happened to Professor Udice wasn't our fault.
I know. I'm not saying it is. It is formality for me to do these checks. However, it is how we keep the school safe in the calmest way without enforcing a lockdown of sorts. I don't think what happened to Professor Udice is your fault. It is still to make sure that everybody else feels safe. Panic induces more panic, which induces chaos. You understand? If the student body can look at us and go, they are going through this and they are making sure that things are checked, they know that we are doing what we do to make sure that things are safe. If something explodes and they look to us and we just go, what are they going to feel like? How would you feel?
Right. It would be like as if we were reaching out to police officers. That would be,
Exactly.
useless.
What, people who only help after something has happened?
What's up with that?
What time is it, Max? What time is it?
It's
roughly in the day.
It's coming up like noon.
Okay. Kyle's gonna look at the clock and kind of drum on the table, or the coffee table, like, we're gonna go to the cafeteria, and you can talk to Miss Terry, and just give us a text when you want us to come back. Here is my number. And Kyler's gonna take out like a chisel and like a slate and just fucking like cut the numbers in, snap the
We
slate
should
off, and put it on
probably
the
get
table.
business cards.
Or pen and paper might be an idea.
Paper, I can never make it work.
Yes.
You dive underwater regularly. I feel like we should laminate your business cards.
Laminated business cards. Anyway, Sensei, here you go.
He takes it off of you and puts it down on the table and goes, "Thank you. If you're planning to go to the cafeteria, there is but one thing I ask. The
Sure.
three of you can go." And he points to Kronk, Geraldine, and Kyler. "But I would like you two both to stay. You seem to be the most talkative, and I have read files. I know most of the stuff about the students here. That is my job. I know these things. I would like both of you to stay."
Sure.
Aren't you worried that he's leveraging her? And then
I don't believe so, because the entire time that you have been in this room, I understand I said we don't like to resort to it. There is constantly a zone of truth in this room. It is always here.
Oh, that's sneaky.
Figured.
that's pretty saucy. You know what? With all due
We tell you it
disrespect,
isn't on, and
goddamn.
we tell you it isn't on, and then you feel relaxed. And if you try to lie, and then you get caught out, we see the worry on your face, and we're like, "Oh, this is a sneaky bastard."
Either
And
that or
we
you
get-
could be bluffing.
I could be. You don't know.
Quick,
You
how
bluff
big's
if
your
there's a
underwear?
checker.
How big is my underwear?
Yeah.
I'm not wearing any.
Oh. Can you,
You are
resist
committed to
the zone
you
of
are
truth?
committed to you can, but it's difficult, right? Like
Oh, it's very. No, I don't. I think it's very, very difficult.
it's like it's a ridiculous DC in 5e.
Crestwave,
Wouldn't it be like
I'll text you
if you're the one who
anything comes up.
cast it, you probably.
Yeah, it's based off of the caster's DC. So if like a high level caster did this,
For all we know, Rafa's the caster, like, so.
Yeah.
Crestwave, I'll text you if anything comes up.
Kyle's
All
gonna
right, bye.
slide out the door.
before you guys
Forgets Trina. Just pulls it back and goes.
before you guys leave, Raph goes, "Oh, wait one moment," and he kind of stands up and he goes over to what are kind of like just this wall of filing cabinets, and he looks through some stuff and he goes through and he pulls out little student ID cards, and he goes, "You already have your adventurer's licenses and what rank you are. However, this is simply to identify you as a member of True Arms Academy. It also allows you to get free lunch at the cafeteria."
Yeah,
Free
free
lunch.
lunch. Does this come on a lanyard? I feel like it'd be a lot cooler if I was wearing a lanyard.
You could put it on a lanyard. We don't supply them, unfortunately. But if you go to, there is the school store. You can go to the school store and you can buy a True Arms themed lanyard. The wrestling group, the wrestling team's kit, sports jackets, hoodies. You know, different things
Wrestling,
like that.
you say?
Yes, we have
interesting.
a wrestling team.
You have a
unsurprised-
wrestling team?
Unsurprisingly, it is mostly Loxodons, but
I would love to fight a Roxodon.
I could take a Loxodon.
I believe sign-ups are at the end of the week for different clubs and societies if you're interested in that.
I'm very interested, actually. Thank you for letting me know.
This is Kronk, the unrelenting. He is something else.
I don't mean to brag. I don't mean to
Yeah,
brag, but I am.
he won his match down at Swan's Gauntlet last week.
I believe I'm 3-0 right now.
I do not know what any of that means apart from Swan's Gauntlet. I am a pacifist.
That is okay. That is okay.
I don't. It is a bit strange working in a school like this being a pacifist, but you know, it pays.
Especially because you have such a big fist. Am I right?
I appreciate the compliment, but I am not a monk. I am a cleric. So
Oh, all right. You know.
the Lady of the River guides my hand, as big as it may be.
Cow's like kind of walk away like, water god. Yeah, okay, fine.
Whatever.
I mean, you've got the master of all the oceans and a river goddess. I mean, like, I suppose it's like a hot dog versus sirloin steak, but like, if you have to, I guess. Like,
Kyra's getting a little bit like, oh, I might need to like investigate these internal biases against other religions.
Glasgow Celtic versus the Larkhall 112s.
That's what it is. But yes, he gives the three of you your like student ID cards and sends you on your way. We'll come to you guys doing your stuff in a little bit. For now, we're going to, if you guys want to like mute, go get water, drink, do whatever, feel free. I don't know if you guys want to make yourself food if you haven't had anything to eat. For now, there's just going to be a little bit here between Tari and Drazian and Raph, roleplay wise. So it's entirely up to yourselves.
and hang out.
Yeah, no problem. As the other three leave the room and the door is closed, Raph kind of motions for the two of you to sit in the large leather sofa opposite him. Please sit down. It is there's nothing to be worried about. Do not worry. It is very simple, asking you a few questions, making sure that every statement lines up, seeing that everything's okay.
Sure.
So, Miss Tari, how do you say her name? Tari. Okay. Miss Tari, the statement that the fellow here, Mr. Calais, gave. Please tell me, and do remember, there is a zone of truth here. Does that fit up to the way that you remember the events?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Is there any possibility that you have been put under the effect of a modify memory spell or are committing these acts against your own will?
Not that I've detected.
Okay. You are both new students here. As the Dean of Student Activities, I have read both of your files. Obviously, for one of you, that file is much lighter than the other due to some circumstances. However, we have contacts, we know certain things. It is, again, for the safety of our students. We've had people in the past apply as students who have then come in and they have tried to do much harm to the campus, the faculty, other students. It is for safety. So, and he turns to you, Drazian. I do apologize for breaking consent in looking into your past when it was not on your application form, your transcript, but whenever somebody with only 5 years of history applies, you must understand why we have to look into that.
I understand, and I appreciate keeping you and Professor Truarm. I did not expect the great Avatar Truarm to not figure out who I am. So, or any at this academy, but I appreciate those things being kept in confidence. So thank you.
As much as that is a right of us to make sure that other students are safe, that does not mean we will risk your safety in return.
Can Tari do like the wee sympathetic like pat pat on Drazian's back?
It's okay, buddy. We know how it's been. I must ask. Obviously, the two of you have history. You've known each other, I'm assuming, for many years, considering the
10 years.
relation. 10 years. considering the relationship between your two states, is there any chance that this, to your knowledge, is an attack set out by enemies to either of your states?
No. It doesn't match the ammo for the theocracy. It's too messy. Despite that one occasion where they did try and attack the ocean, which was very fucking stupid, but no, even they wouldn't be stupid enough to try and wage war on Navidad Truam's home turf.
And yourself, Mr. E, do you have any knowledge that this would be an attack by an outside force?
No, I've been assured that this is the safest place.
Okay. That is all the questions I need to ask the two of you. I'm going to go and write my report on this. However, if I am to understand correctly, you probably want to catch up a bit. So you feel free to use the staff lounge. It's going to be free for the next hour. I'm simply going to go into my office, and he kind of points over to another one of these large doors that has like a gold plaque on it that says Dean of Student Activities. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to write my report. Just be aware that you only have about an hour to catch up.
That's perfect.
So.
Professor, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Look, I know Professor Vassi said that it was more than likely a result of the magical discharge, but given the nature of experimentation, weird creatures and everything, I don't know how much you know about what went down in Hell's Prairie, but is it possible those people were involved? It's the first thing that came to my mind when Professor Vassi enlisted us. Now, they ensured me was more than likely something that just happened, but being given my background, and you know my background, you can never be too careful with things.
As you ask this, he's standing up, and rather than like sitting back down into the chair, you watch as he like places himself on the arm of the sofa of the couch and goes, I do understand your trepidation and your anxiety. Everything that I have seen has led me to believe that this is not the case. This is a simply wildfire accident from the Feywild. Sometimes there has been small explosions. I think this would probably have been a small explosion if not for the confined space and the age of the Undercroft. I do think that the conditions were perfect to make it seem bigger than it was. I don't believe that this was part of any group that you have been recently involved with. I tread careful to say not any names because this area is safe, but you never know who will be listening. I do believe this is simply another freak accident of the Feywild being a little bit too much for its own good. If you have any worries, though, he kind of goes to reach down at the table and realizes that he has put Kyler's like slate business card on top of his like cards that he hands out to students. So he kind of moves Kyler's slate business card and picks up one of these smaller cards that has his crystal net like number and just his name, Raf, just RAF, Dean of Student Activities. If there's anything you need, day or night, you text me at that number. I will help you in any way that I can, and I do mean anything you need. If you are struggling financially, we have aid for that. If you need somebody to talk to, we have aid for that. We offer to provide as many support systems for our students as possible.
It's appreciated.
As he kind of picks up the rest of the stuff and puts it under his arm. Please enjoy catching up. I understand you are both young, but I would ask that you treat this workspace professionally. There will be other people in here afterwards, if you catch my drift.
Like Tari just looks completely confused.
Yeah,
Not
Drazen
knowing
also
what-
looks completely confused. Like, yeah,
You are young
sure.
people, possibly find each other attractive.
Oh
no,
God,
no, no.
I am not judging, I'm not judging. To each their own. It's just, I'm just asking that you treat the place nicely. Treat this as you would treat your own.
Yeah,
But
that's,
better.
that's fine. You've got nothing to worry about, Professor.
And he turns around and goes into his office, and you hear the kind of heavy thunk of a lock clicking as he's on the other side with the door closed. It's not just the two of you in this teacher's lounge. There is like a small station for like coffee and tea and like an assortment of beverages. There's like a mini fridge with some stuff in it. If you guys want to do if you guys just want to like chill for a bit, if you guys want to catch up, this is your chance.
So, True Arms as well. What brings you here? That's
Well, I was recommended to come here because everything's pretty much going tits up back home. So I've been recommended to step up as next court mage, and to do that I need education.
okay.
So until I can get my degree and stuff, I can't step up.
What's been going on back home? Have the theocracy tried to make a move?
Thankfully not yet, but things are getting pretty tense. The threat is there, and it's just wiping out everyone close.
Have they taken much more of the city-states?
They're working on it, apparently. That's all that we've heard.
Fuck. Right, well, that's something. Are you okay? Is your family okay?
As far as I'm aware, my mother doesn't really talk to me that much, and I haven't heard from my father in years. So it's literally just me in the state with work, and that's it.
Okay.
You, Drazen, you will have known Tari's upbringing was not exactly filled with love, not exactly filled with the allowance of being a child when she was a child. There is a little bit of the history that you guys mostly have is her meeting you for the first time, seeing someone around her own age in all of these court proceedings where she was learning because of whatever, prodigal skills she had. And you were kind of one of the first people where she was like, oh, this is how you be a kid and a teenager and that kind of thing. So you're used to this slightly drier tone that she holds. You know that it's not really her, it's a lot of childhood trauma. So
And a lot of protocol from like mostly just being around the Sanros family, and just like
exactly
serving them rather than actually being able to meet people. Either like from what I kind of gathered, Drazian and the rest of the Danon Blades, the Knights of Avon, as it were, the kind of like Kingsguard almost, would have been kind of the ones that like Tari probably were. It was kind of the first like real people that she kind of got to be around, where it wasn't all protocol.
People with emotions? What?
Yeah, you obviously, with the history that Drazian has, there is a lot of, yeah, my upbringing wasn't super normal, but yours compared to Tari was still quite light. Tari was getting woken up at like 17 at like 3 a.m., getting asked to cast like a spell that cures insomnia because the family that she worked for couldn't sleep very well that night. Most of most of your life has revolved around this family and them providing everything for you, but in return, you feeling obliged and forced to be their next court mage in training. It's it's not necessarily been tough in the traditional sense of the word, but it's been stressful. Yeah, that is kind of the experience and the history you two have of each other. So,
I'm not really sure how much you heard about what went down in Avon. I know Theocracy tried to keep a lot of it hush hush, but Mum, Dren, and me got out, along with the few others. Most of us ended up setting up shop in the Uticid Diarchy. And I'm kind of like looking around the room, just to like try. Can I kind of sense if anyone's in earshot? Can I like make some kind of perception check to just get a sense of if anyone's around?
Yeah, go ahead. Just make a general perception check for me.
Yeah. Cool. Where the fuck did it go? Sorry, give me 1 second because my D&D Beyond decided to shut itself down. Because I just want to... perception... that's an 8. That was fucking atrocious. I have no idea.
Your usual methods of like listening are kind of overshadowed by the hum of the coffee maker in the background, the kind of creak and groan of these large, well-loved leather sofas. There's too many small noises going on around for you to focus on trying to pick out a singular noise from this unfamiliar environment.
Cool. Well, I telepathically just say to her, I have no idea who's... and I say to her in the voice, telepathically I say it in the voice of Drazian that she would know. I'm like, I've no idea who's listening right now, so I'm choosing my words carefully here. And I just say to her, look, myself, Mum, Dren, and a couple of the others got out. I don't know what happened to the prince. I know that he got as far as Azure City, but after that he disappeared. So it was me and the other decoys just kind of set up shop with the prophecies of the sun. Dren, high level commander there now. Max, would Dren have been like general status, or what kind of rank would both he and Drazian be with the prophecies after 5 years?
Let me see here. Sorry, just getting it up.
Sorry, I should have asked you this about fucking 6 months ago, but like it completely slipped my mind.
It's fine. Dren would probably be in and around Lieutenant General, Major General.
Yeah.
Which is like General is like 4-star, and then those are like 2 and 3-star. that's his experience also speaking.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be necessarily as high as that. You would probably be,
Probably like captain level or something like that.
yeah, you'd be you'd be like second in command of like a subunit, which is about captain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was thinking I'd be around there given Drazian's combat experience and like political acumen as well. So yeah,
Okay,
no,
I was
that's
going to weigh
fine.
in. I was going to weigh in. None of it's about Drazian's combat experience. It's the fact that he's a noble son of a city state. He's getting a commission ultimately. Like they're not like, yeah, you can be a staff sergeant and go and fucking deal with all this. It's like you're getting a commission where like you can.
Well, no, because
relatively well treated.
they don't know they don't know who Drazian is. Like,
yeah, no, as your city doesn't have knowledge of Drazian's like background. Plus, weirdly, captain is only like three.
Captain's not
ranks.
super high. Captain's in charge of a platoon in the British Army. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, captains are normally made second in command of a subunit of up to 120, but it literally goes like training, second lieutenant, lieutenant, captain.
yeah.
So it's
Yes, if you're
really
on the officer, if you're in commission, yeah.
it's not super high, but it's enough that there's like, oh yeah, like this person knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, so like, oh yeah, fuck, Drazian the Brigadier, Lieutenant Colonel. Do you know what I mean?
No, like, and like the reason he would be up to that rank would be because of like his like role in Avon was he was a knight, like so. Yeah, I just turned to Tari and I'm explaining that I'm like, yeah, so that's about as far as everyone here knows, I'm a knight. I was a knight of a city-state that none of them have really heard of, and that I've been in Azure City I was in Azure City for the past number of years. And I'm here to get stronger and try and make a difference, so to speak.
Yeah.
Have you not been able to contact your mother or anyone else?
Well, yeah, no, I keep in touch with Mum and Jan. They're still in Azure City. They're the ones that, well, Dren especially was the one that said I should go here to True Arms. So I speak to them every week. But yeah, they're doing okay.
Has there been anyone that you haven't been able to get in touch with?
Dad, obviously. He's still back in Avon.
I could see if I could try and contact him, if that would make any help or difference.
I wouldn't want to risk it right now, because he's kind of, it's that kind of hostage situation because of his diplomatic station.
It wouldn't be in the physical body. It would be when he's asleep.
I'll think about it. I don't know what magical wards and everything they've got there. I wouldn't want to put either you or him at risk right now. But I appreciate it. I'll think about it.
It would only be during a dream. He wouldn't be hurt. He wouldn't be at any risk of being hurt.
So yeah, just to explain that a bit, Drazian, you know that Tari is a Kalash Tar.
Mm-hmm.
You know that her and her people generally have a connection to dreams, like mind connections, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Last you met her, she wouldn't have been able to do this, like travel between dreams. But the stage that she's at now, she probably would. She would be able to like actively, like if I'm sleeping at the same time as this person, I can visit them in like the dream plane that they exist on.
Okay, so it's not something that the theocracy would be able to detect at all then.
Unless they somehow have warlocks like watching over your dad and constantly being like, yeah, I'm going to invade your dreams every night. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
then, yeah, if you don't think there's going to be a risk, then yeah, that'd be good. I appreciate that.
Do you have anything that could help me connect to your dad? Anything that he had?
I've got a couple of things that he potentially gave me. I've got some of his old letters to me back at the house that I'm staying at here. There's one or two of his effects. Oh, what am I talking about? Here, I've got, and I don't draw it, but I like take like almost like disconnect the scabbard from my belt and like got the sword that was his that he gave me.
Take a quick nap now and see if I could do anything.
What's the time difference between here and Avon? Like, would it be nighttime there at the minute?
It would be...
Or like 4 or 5 a.m.?
It'd be like 4 or 5 a.m.
Okay.
So
yeah, then yeah, he'd probably still be asleep if he was sleeping.
Probably still be asleep, yeah.
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be really useful.
Yeah. Is there like, where's like the most comfiest seat in the teacher's lounge?
They all kind of bridge that gap between like being like comfy to sit in but like uncomfortable to lie in.
Could I try to find like the biggest like long one and then like try to lie down and try to fall asleep?
Yeah. It'd probably be the one you're in now, so you kind of probably just shove Drazian off like and lie down. It's always been pretty easy for you to fall asleep, considering what you can kind of do. You can very quickly just kind of go. As you hold this sword in your hands, you would begin to feel your one form of your body lifting out of the other as your ethereal dream form is lifting out of your physical material plane form. Whereas most people don't feel this disconnect, you as a Kalashtar are always aware of this. This is also one of the few times you can see the spirit that you're connected to, who is simply to you known as the Crone, an older weaving lady who seems to constantly be like using this kind of like spinning wheel, pulling threads. And as you kind of disconnect from your dream, you see her and she looks at you and she goes, "Taking a nap in the middle of the day, dear?"
For good reason.
I should think so. Too much napping also gives you bags under your eyes, you know. It's not very good for you.
Well, you've also got too many wrinkles, so let's go.
Like, let me sleep, Grandma. What the heck? Like, I'm tired. Let me take a nap, bro.
Just a little nappy nap.
As the Crone kind of like sighs, and as she's like still weaving this spinning wheel loom combination thing,
Bitch is gonna get carpal tunnel.
she like looks over at you and she sees the sword and she goes, "We visiting someone today?"
You got it.
"Give me the sword." And she kind of puts her
What's the
hand
magic
out.
word?
The magic word is now if you want to go visit someone. You know I'm the only one who can do that for you.
I just like hesitantly put her hand. It's like matters cost nothing.
As she takes the sword, you watch as she puts it on top of the loom, like on this kind of like display stand. And she begins weaving, and it gets faster and faster. And you watch as there's this tapestry that begins to unfurl and unfold and begin to ripple around your perception. until it almost wraps around you like a blanket. And as the loom falls away, as the cloth and yarn that surrounds your face falls away, you're in a garden. But it is not a garden that you have seen before. Usually the garden that you will have seen for the Kingdom of the Kingdom of Avon is this fine kind of cobbled paths with these large flower beds. It looks regal. This is anything but. This is a small, rundown garden attached to what looks like the back of some sort of cottage. The weeds are long and tangled. There are a few sprigs of mint and lavender growing in wild patches amongst the grass. And on all sides, bar the one with the house, there are these large, rickety wooden fences. Sitting at the end of the garden, on a stone bench facing away from you, are two individuals. Both older gentlemen. One greying hair, and the other this kind of good head of hair that bears a very close resemblance facially to Drazian.
Okay, can I like gently like go up to them, like just not to scare them or anything?
As you kind of approach them, you notice as you get closer that the older of the two gentlemen is translucent. He's slightly see-through. And you gather that this is another spirit that is in the dream. As you get closer, you notice that this fellow also looks kind of like Drazian, but much older, much more kind of deeper wrinkles around the eyes, like a very carved face, some scarring on the left cheek. And as you approach, he looks up at you and he kind of smiles faintly and then drifts away. And you hear the younger of the two gentlemen kind of go, never lasts long enough.
Was that your father?
He kind of turns up and looks at you.
I just give him a smile.
He's unsure at first what to do. As he kind of looks at you, it's somebody that he has not seen before, or at least not seen in a number of years. And nods and kind of looks back out towards this one rickety fence that he's looking at.
I don't want to startle him too much, so I'm just gonna like sit like down gently, like beside it, but like giving some distance away from him. And just be like, I'm a friend of Drazian's. I'm not here to cause any harm.
I appreciate that. I don't think that anybody has visited me in a long time.
He's
And he
worried
kind of-
about you.
He always did, you know. Even whenever he was only wee, he always kept worrying about me. He's the kid. I'm the dad. Why did he worry about me? mean, everything going on now, I can understand it, but how is he?
He's changed, but he's also surrounded by good people who make him laugh. He's toughened, but he's starting to be coming back to do what Drazian.
You see in Solus, Kailaeus, Drazian's father, you see a single kind of tear really well up in the corner of his eye and drop down, and his breath is beginning to catch, and he's comfortable. He's not like he's not putting up too many walls. He's made friends.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Do you know what this place is?
No.
This is the house where I grew up. Before I became king of Avon. I wasn't direct in line for the throne on the next, like twice removed. But things got dicey whenever I was young, and all of a sudden, I was 7, and my dad was king. And it was hard enough for me coming away from here. This is still in Avon. It was hard enough for me leaving here, going to live in that big palace on top of the hill, but he had to leave Avon, not knowing when he might come back. Why are you here?
Well, we don't know where you are, and we want to make sure that you're safe, and if you're not, then we can come and get you out of whatever situation that you're in.
I'm safe in the way that I don't think I will be killed. As for where I am, sitting on the throne of Avon, a puppet king, a farcical leader sitting on the throne of lies and deceit, where the feet of my throne run red with the blood of my countrymen. They only have me in charge to keep some semblance of peace in the city walls. It's not been a fun 5 years. As he kind of turns and like looks at you, do you think you could give him a message from me?
Of course.
I understand that he wants to come back here, and I understand he wants to do everything in his power to get me out of this as fast as possible. But if he does that, he's putting everyone he loves in danger. Not just himself and not just me. I do know of something that could help him, though. There's a weakness in the theocracy that they haven't realized. I don't think they've realized it. And as he's finishing the sentence, you hear a voice call from the door of the cottage. Well, well, well. A visitor in my hunting grounds. And you turn your face and you see an older human. Balding, white hair around the edges. And these fine clergy robes, his hands behind his back, white, gold, red, all the colours of heat and sun emblazoning his body. Who are you, little sparrow, to step into the grounds of Uriel Sabrathan?
Oh.
And all that I watch over. And you, my little puppet, a weakness. And you watch as Uriel Sabrathan's ethereal form reaches forward and grips the collar of Solus and lifts him up off the ground. Hydra has no weakness. His light is blinding and loving and strong.
Does my magic work here?
Your magic does not work here, unfortunately.
Can I pick up a rock?
As you go to reach for a rock, as you turn back around, Uriel Sabrathan backhands you, and you feel your form and the spirit be ripped away from where you are, and you're thrown back into your body, lying on the couch holding the sword.
Fuck!
Just as we're trying to defend his dad. Well, basically, just like wake up, like, you know, like how you wake up like from a nightmare.
You jolt up, like breathing in a cold sweat.
Mm-hmm. What happened to you, okay? What did you see?
I just want to telepathically recite back to Drusian just what had happened, just in case there is anybody listening.
Oh, Uriel Sabrathan's back, baby!
Fuck.
You can
like, what's that name mean?
Drazian knows what that name means. Drazian knows who that is.
She actually...
I know Drazian knows what that means, but Tari doesn't know what that means. Just tell Tari!
So,
I think just scary Scottish guy said his own name.
Very, very quickly. You, in your communication, you can either use words or you can, like, convey images or, like, a scene. So, you show Drazian what happened. You don't just tell him, you show him.
Yeah.
And so, Drazian, you actually, for a moment, you look upon the face of Uriel Sabrathan as like this image of his face pops into your mind's eye as it comes up through Tari's message.
Fuck. Drazian just like fucking like just clenches his fist and like slams it against his leg. Like, fuck. Shit. I should have known. I shouldn't have sent you in there.
No, it's fine. I've had worse.
I'm worried about what they're going to do to him now. I need to speak to Dren. I need to speak to my mother. I need to figure out something.
Drazian. As this is going on, you are speaking. You know, I this doesn't feel safe. I don't know what to do now. Like, what do we do? You hear a voice in the back of your mind's eye. Oh, little prince. So you've been on the run. Here I thought we'd wiped out the bloodline except for the one that we control the flow.
Can't get rid of me that easily.
That's it. Unfortunately, you can't return more than one message to sending.
Shit!
Meanwhile, we're shopping for lanyards.
And with that, we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Ah!
And we will come back to Kyler, Kronk, and Geraldine within the cafeteria doing whatever they are doing outside of this little thing.
Starting a good fight. That's what we need.
Right. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at 11 p.m. or 6.
Yep, 6.
11 p.m. Celtic Standard Time or 6 p.m. Ohio Standard Time.
It's all Ohio. We're expanding more than the
Solo
Isarian
Ohio?
theocracy.
Always has been.
Always has been.
The Ohio theocracy.
We'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Go get water, go get snacks.
I need a fucking drink.
Take your meds if you haven't taken them. That is important. And we will see you back here in 10 minutes, folks.
Right, we'll see you back here in a second, guys.
Welcome back. I got toast.
Drink your water, nerds. All right, lots of conversation here at the beginning of this.
Speaking of getting food and sustenance, Kyler and Kronk.
Hello.
And Geraldine.
Oh.
Hello.
God, I'm so hot and I love books.
Took me a second to realize you meant like hot, like attractive, and not just like I'm a sweaty mess.
Yeah, God, I'm so sweaty after being a shark for so long. It really takes a lot out of me.
Hey, yo.
Oh.
So as you guys leave the teacher's lounge, while the other event that transpired is happening.
Tell me this whole pyre is trans?
Yeah, exactly. The two of you, three of you, because I can only see two people, my brain is going, there's two.
So I'll put a sock on my hand and that can be Geraldine.
Imagine clipping that.
Not one on guiding bolt.
Oh no, I killed a plant!
Geraldine is now Jaal from Mass Effect Andromeda.
Christ.
So clipping this and sending it to Kat, going, yeah, we respect you.
Yeah, that ass is.
As the three of you leave the room, honestly, I'm just like, I don't want to go any further because, like, she's not here to defend herself.
Oh yeah, I guess she's not.
I don't consider myself a particularly ethical person, but I am fair. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm going to make 6 jokes at your expense, and then I'll let you make one whenever you're back next week.
I'll roll 1d6 and I'll make that many jokes.
That's it. Everything I do, the dice decide. So
that's a banger T-shirt idea, actually.
Yeah, everything
I do, and then a D20. The dice decide.
Well, with that going on, this is the first time that you guys have had, and it's possibly dangerous that you three are the first ones to have this chance to just roam the school and figure out the layout, see what there is, that kind of thing. You guys said you were going to the cafeteria hall, but you now have your student ID cards, which can pretty much get you anywhere in the building.
Because Kronk doesn't have a lanyard.
Areas.
Kronk doesn't have a lanyard, so he currently has it pinned here like a necktie.
Oh.
Did you physically gag at the idea?
Kyler's just tucked away and just in like the denim jacket pocket. I think
Kyler's got it in his wallet and like the little flip out bit, so Kyler can go True Arms Academy.
I literally have 2 lanyards right here, so I can give one of my lanyards to Kronk.
Alright, pass it through. Thank you.
There you go.
Yo, okay, there's the next merch idea, True Arms Lanyard.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go.
So, Kat isn't here, but Kyler is going to turn to Geraldine and go, so you can turn to an animal, and this is like a really big hallway. One day you should turn into a penguin and just slide down the corridor. That'd be so cool.
Wait, alright, hang on. I've got an idea right now. You turn into a penguin, and we will tape Trina on your back, and I'll slide you all the way down, because you can slide on your belly, and then once you're done sliding, Kyler can call you back on Trina, so you won't have to return and waddle all the way back. And then you'll be back with us.
That's a great idea. That's spot on.
I think it's a great idea too.
Why have you guys just created penguin fishing? Like, go get the thing for us and then come back.
The hit Flash game, Learn to Fly. That's
banger game.
I don't think. Can we convince Geraldine? I mean, she's not. Kat isn't here. I'd feel a bit.
Geraldine kind of like looks at the two of you and just goes, "That
Your
would be
call has
fun,
been
but I
forwarded."
think I'm okay. I think I'm good for now. I'm a little bit like shaken up from everything that's happened, and I don't know. Penguin just seems a little bit too bright for us having possibly destroyed a relic of history."
All right. Well, I'll write this down for my notes in my forever notes that Geraldine does not want to be double teamed by Kyla and Kronk. I'll just write that in the notes.
Where's the cafeteria anyway? Because we haven't actually been. And oh my, wait, hang on, and Kyla's gonna scrunch his eyes shut and do this for a minute, and kind of just see if Shenjo's okay. Like, hang on, haven't spoke to him in like 3 hours.
He busts through
the fucking Kool-Aid man turtle.
That would be
just like you just hear like a rumbling, and you turn around and just hit now sliding on his stomach down the hallway.
See, Geraldine, this is what we could be.
Fucking jump on him. He starts spinning. He turns into fucking Koopa shell.
Kronk goes, wah!
As you kind of reach out with your mind, it's 3 miles, isn't it?
I don't know how far it is. Let me check. I think it's 1 mile.
When I wake up,
Well,
I know I'm gonna be. Find steed. Yeah, within 1 mile. So if he's too far away, I can't.
He's currently too far away.
Okay,
It's
fair
too
enough.
far away.
He's. Yeah, I know that he's alive though, right? Like, because like he's a steed. You know, he's a magic. So like, I know he's alive and stuff. Yeah. Okay. No worries then.
That's out of range.
I
need a target.
I can't target that yet.
I can't loot that.
Kyla's just gonna skate a little bit up the hall then and just start looking for the cafeteria with Kronk and Geraldine hopefully in tow.
Yes. Kronk only has 12 hit points, so he's looking for maybe an hour or so of downtime where he can just eat.
Let's take a short rest.
Kronk
in the
like has
cafeteria.
a gash on his face that has been unattended this entire time.
Just openly bleeding.
I guess he is pretty singed. Oh, Kronk does want to take the opportunity to turn to Kyler at this point and go, hey Kyler, I want to talk to you a little bit about the incident with the flame ring. I didn't really know it was going to explode and hit us both. And I'll take the proverbial L for it hitting me. I feel like that's on me, right? But hitting you, I felt really bad about that. And then we had to run away very quickly, so I feel like I didn't get a chance to apologize. I'm sorry for dealing 5 levels of Ring of Fire on you on accident.
It's fine. Here. Can I give me the ring and I'll fill it up for you tonight.
All right, here you go. Boop, boop, boop.
Kyle's gonna just stick it on his fingers for the minute. And yeah, I have my spell slots back, but I'll hang on to them for the minute.
Oh man, I wish I had asked Professor Raft to put something in this. Kronk just needs to go around asking any professor, be like, "Do you have a level 5 spell you could put in this?" I feel like that would be very entertaining.
Kronk just rolling the dice on every encounter with the professor. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, ring of spell storing. Do you have anything fun you could put in this? Yeah, this is called Blight.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that one.
Is there anyone in the hall as we like move to the cafeteria?
The first
Kronk, sorry, Kaz, like, yeah, it takes the ring and it's like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. It's cool. It all worked out.
For the first 5 or 6 minutes of you guys kind of like looking around the halls trying to find your way, there's no one. And then at once you kind of hear this large bell chime, and you begin to hear movement in the different rooms on like either side of the hall, and students start to come out and like transfer between classes. There's quite a few of them. You notice like there's like a large majority of them heading the same direction. And it is coming up to about noon, so you can probably gather. Oh, follow the crowd, find like the main place we need to go.
Cool.
Whether you guys do that is like a different story, but 19 intellect Kyler would go like,
yeah.
Do I see in the crowd Kelmus, the little halfling with the purple eyes that was on our adventure in the very first adventure that we did when we went into the little cube?
do I see Kelmus, the little Catholic with
the little Catholic with the
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okay, if I fail the perception check, so do I see Fabrian instead?
Oh dear.
Is that the loose condition?
Oh, Crone, my friend, how are you doing?
Mandem!
Okay. I rolled a 12.
You look around and you don't see either of them currently in the crowd.
A drat.
Alright. Yeah, Kyler continues to meander through the crowd. Doing like the weird sort of youth pastory. Are we having a good day? Like just like kind of grab you by the shoulder, like trying to boost morale, like seeing like people the way and he's like, you know, they look at him funny, goes, "How are you doing?" And just as like he kind of leads them through the crowd.
There is, as you kind of like go, you know, having a good day, everything good. There's one kid that you like put your hand on his shoulder and you go like, "Oh, having a good one," and he just turns to you and his eyes are just, and he's like breathing really shallowly, and he's like on a different plane of existence.
Kyler's gonna take the chance to go, okay, like, what is going on? Is he staring him out or is he just spaced? Either way, he's gonna do it. But
this is like 1,000-yard like flashbacks there. He's like looking at you but through you, and after Kyler kind of starts to do this, a girl who looks fairly similar to this young fella kind of walks up and goes, "Oh, I'm really sorry. We had our first warlock class today, meeting your patron, and his happens to be an old one. Apparently there's a little bit of a that can happen whenever you stare into the face of an eldritch being." And I think
really, I personally find it to be quite easy, actually.
Oh, hey, that's kind of not cool to say to somebody who's recovering. Kind of, that's not really.
What? But it is. But like, it's just tentacles.
We could talk about it in a second. But I'm terribly sorry that that's happened. If you need anything, you let us know. We can talk through it if you need it.
I don't get it.
As
you know, they're like, it's beyond your comprehension, but I comprehend it. He's a squid.
Carla, come on. Let's talk about this.
whoa.
That's our word.
Man.
It's one of those like, it's whenever you're trying to like teach a parent, like it's not cool to say that anymore.
Yeah.
So, we said it all the time. Yeah, but
And we turned out fine.
There's no malice in it. It's just complete ignorance. Like, what?
Kids these days, they can't look at an eldritch being without being mentally ruptured.
Frog. Did they walk away or are they still there?
As you say, like if there's anything you need, the male, like the male of the two, kind of like looks at you and goes, "I need to forget. I need to forget."
We just met somebody.
His eyes just, and he just walks away as you're talking.
That's a modified memory
right.
spell in the making.
What a weird kid.
I yell after the girl that was with him. Talk to Professor Raff. He knows some therapists.
She just kind of like looks back and goes, "Thank you."
I turn to Kyler and goes, "All right. So some people perceive things a little bit differently than others. You might be able to look at the face of an eldritch being. Here, it's kind of like this, right? So I'm able to fight. Like I bet I could fight off a bear solo, right? I feel like I could do that, but other people might not be able to. Their talents might be elsewhere. They might be able to take a dragon out of the sky. I don't think I'd be able to. I can't reach that far. Everybody has different skill sets. You may be able to survive looking an eldritch horror in the face, and they might be scarred for eternity. It's not good to be like, oh, well, I was able to do that, because he's probably able to summon demons from a different dimension, and you can't. And it doesn't feel good to be able to maybe rub that in somebody's face, especially right after they've been scarred for eternity. Does that make sense?
I mean, I get it, but, like, looking into the face of eldritch beings, it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, can you tie your shoes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it happens.
Well, I understand it's something that's good for you, but it's nice to read maybe the look on somebody's face when it's happening.
There was no look on his face. It was like...
And
there
sometimes...
was very, very specifically devoid of look on his face.
All right, well, just maybe mull over what I said just a little bit, because I think it's something that's good to know.
I will take it on board the boat of my conscience.
All right, excellent. Let's go grab some food or something.
Kronka's like, I think you're just being a little bit insensitive here.
Kronk's sensitivity training.
Can we walk up to the cafeteria? Is it like an American high school movie? Like, oh my god, where are the jocks sitting at one table?
So I'm going to explain.
Wait, are you guys? Wait, when you say are you guys like not like that? Does that not happen over there?
No.
No, you have the Protestants on one side and the Catholics on the other.
I was quite good. I was quite good at just floating between. I never like sat in the same place twice.
I was a drifter.
Hardly know her.
But also it was always just kind of like you make friends with somebody in different groups. Everybody just sits wherever you want to sit.
Like, I know at my, like, high school wasn't, like, as segregated as, like, I don't know, High School Musical, when they're literally, like, color-coordinated in their different uniforms.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad.
But, like, they're definitely, like, cliques, like...
Not my school.
All right.
Yeah, no, there was cliques in my school as well. I was with, like, the nerds and the emos, and, like,
You?
I was with Marvel kids and the theater kids.
Yeah. All right. See, I feel like we're kind of because everybody's got like band kids, theater kids. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I was the guy that reached across the canteen table and punched the like fucking jock bully who was giving me and other people jip like, and then never got bothered by them again. So,
see, that sounds like an American high school movie.
Yeah.
All right, like.
That's the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah, because I didn't realize the guy was wearing braces at the time when I punched him in the mouth, and then never interacted with him again until prom, where he bought me like drinks the entire night.
I'm sorry.
Didn't that happen in 17 again?
Yeah,
don't forget.
The drinking age is 18.
That's right. You guys have told me about this before. Drinks at prom is like okay. That's wild.
We hold our formals and proms in like hotels that have like bars. So
that's cool. We had to go through metal detectors at prom to make sure nobody shot up prom.
I thought you were going to be on about like take flasks with alcohol into prom, but no, it's
that
it's
was
guns,
like a secondary thing.
Yeah, Chris, tell me, what is your favorite rating of Kevlar?
You know, to prom I wore a helmet.
You know how in Warzone you like plate up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One in the front, one in the backpack, baby. Let's go.
It literally is a thing, like bulletproof like slide-ins for American like backpacks. I know like elementary schools have them. It's crazy. It's insane.
That's mental.
You guys know how you can like go back to your school and like visit an old teacher. We can't do that because you have to be like buzzed in through like bulletproof plastic and glass to get into a school if you're a visitor.
I also found out recently that whole like standing for the flag and the anthem thing is actually real, and that is like the epitome of totalitarianism, and that spooked me.
We would have
I
called those
pledge
kids a
allegiance
fucking
to the
loser.
flag of the United States of America.
We would have called those kids losers. Like if
Yeah.
someone stood up for this
The
the flag,
flag.
I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
We
was-
call those
I was
people
walking-
unionists.
Yeah, exactly.
One time I was walking through the hallway when the Pledge of Allegiance was going on, because it would happen, every morning. You first got to school, you would stand up and you would face the closest flag and do the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And I was walking through the hallway in elementary school one time. I had something in my hand, so I was just going like this, and the teacher stopped me and said, "No, it's your right hand because it always needs to go like this over your heart, and you need to stop walking and you need to take off any hats that you're wearing." And I was like, "Oh, all right, Jesus." Really normal thing to do.
America on an
normal
absolutely fucking normal one, by the way. Like,
Um,
anyway, yeah, sorry.
sorry.
Cafeteria.
Yeah, just before.
Oh, yeah,
all I could think of was like Kyler's like hierarchy of needs: physiological, safety, belongingness, and love. Staring into the face of an eldritch horror.
Self-actualization.
Self-actualization.
Hypnotoad.
It's like Kyler is the fungus that eats radiation. That's kind of like, but like he's like a self-aware, like radiation's bad for other people, but he's like, no, it's good for me. So, like,
Skill diff.
what if we kissed on the Chernobyl Ferris wheel?
It's just a skill issue.
Skill issue.
Dang, that guy was kind of mid, don't you think?
Tyler, he's just looked into the face of a being beyond our comprehension.
Skill issue.
I like Eldritch Beast plus ratio. Am I right?
You fell off the precipice of sanity plus L.
Oh, fuck!
Plus you're white.
Kyler's blue,
Plus
but Kyler is white. I have to show Kyler is blue, but Kyler
Plus
is white.
the hood worships now.
But with all this happening, as you guys are like following the crowd, you actually find yourselves at what looks to be a slightly newer building in comparison to most of the ones around here. And it doesn't take you long to kind of guess that this is like the student union, like kind of the students' building where it has all of the amenities rather than just classrooms. So you walk through the front, kind of like large doors, and there is on one side like the school store, which there is nobody currently in. They have, you can see they kind of have like varsity jackets and hoodies and like full track suits with like the True Arms logo and stuff on them. Scarves, umbrellas, everything is branded for the school. There is, if you continue on a bit, there's kind of like this like common area and like a little kind of coffee shop inside the building, and you can see a number of students who are kind of sitting down, having some coffee, eating like some pastries, and doing some work. And if you continue on around past that, which you guys do, you lead into the canteen, which is this huge open space, wooden slatted floors, these kind of like cold stone brick walls that reach up above, and on one side it almost looks like a buffet, with like a huge selection of food. There's like constantly being cycled in and out by people who are walking to and from the kitchen, and on the other side is like serving like stations, where there are people who are kind of going along saying, "What do you want?" putting it onto a plate and then handing it over to you. Seems to be, depending on what you want, if it's something that can just be like left out, you can just get it from the buffet, or if it's like, oh, I would like a pre-made sandwich, okay, you go to the serving station kind of place.
Kyle's gonna turn to Kronk and just ask, dude, are you cutting or bulking today?
I always try to think of this before we do a D&D stream. If Clark is cutting or bulking in
case I asked you, yeah.
Yeah, in case you ask. What was... Let's see, what is...
I'll tell you what's funnier.
Probably bulking. Probably
yeah,
bulking,
that's funnier.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Today? Well, you see this? I'm bulking today.
So, I said on these cards we get free meals. What constitutes a meal? That's what I want to know.
He just to go back, unless I said it wrong, free food.
Okay. Yep. Fuck it. Let's pile up. What have they got? What have they got on the buffet?
There is on the buffet. There is like all just different like piled high stacks of different flavored chicken strips. There's chicken wings that are they've got like the heated like lamps above them, so they all stay relatively warm. There's chicken strips, there's chicken wings, there are like kind of pre-cut like small steaks that are like piled high. There's sausages, there's bacon, there's burgers. The burgers are just the meat, and at the end of the buffet there's like a little section that has like all the patties and the condiments. Certain other patties, like the buns, the condiments, bread, any like lettuce or anything like that you want on it.
So Kyler's approach is to take one, like, you know, like they're like tongs or like spoons or like what?
They're a mixture. There's like a curry that's there, and that's a spoon.
Yeah.
And you know,
like burgers or like tongs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kyle's approach is to try and get as many things on one tong as possible, like in each one, but don't take more than one tong. So like you could get like 2 or 3 steaks on one tong, like, you know, with a bit of maneuvering.
Yeah.
But not doing like 1, 2, 3, like,
yeah,
and then move on, and literally going up the line and taking anything that looks kind of good, which I assume in a prestigious schools it's probably most of it. So like Kyler's just like got this kind of like larger tower of food that's just kind of building upwards.
Oh god, it's a repeat of the eggs.
Literally, yeah.
There are different sized plates, is the first thing that you notice. Obviously, different creatures, different races, different diets. There are like plates that range from like what we would call like a side plate, so it's like that.
Like a saucer.
Like a saucer, but you know, there are some people who are like just piling a lot of food on that, and that's maybe like halflings and stuff, who that's maybe like that kind of size plate to them. There are what would be like a normal size plate to Kyler, and then a normal size plate to Kronk, and then an even bigger one up that would look like a serving platter tray, which is a... Pardon me. You see a lot of the larger races, like there's trolls, there's loxodons, there's 1 or 2 dragonborns who are kind of like walking around with these just piled high with food.
Kyler's taking one of them. I have to stress this. Kyler's taking one of them.
Yeah,
you know, he's like
from like small to like 2XL plate. Kyler's taking 2XL then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can eat. It's the metabolism of the gods, so to speak.
Yeah. There is like also like sections.
He's eating for 2.
He's eating for 2. He's eating for the deep one.
That's his stomach.
Save some room for Marla.
3 cubic meters of eggs, by the way.
There is like a huge like section of like different kind of like spiced foods and meats. And
is there soup?
There is soup.
Can Kyler get a glass of soup?
Yeah.
A glass! Oh my god.
Like a glass of chicken noodle soup. Like
chicken
god.
Corn soup.
Oh, even better, even worse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even worse than a glass.
Ooh, that's cool. That sounds good.
A glass of chicken sweet corn soup. And it's got that kind of like, you know, like really kind of thick consistency that it has.
It's like a smoothie.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, it's wonderful though.
In that like golden,
one of the
in that,
least
like,
homogenous things in the world. Soup. It just all is separating. You can see all the different layers.
It's like a munchie box squared. That's what I'm thinking it looks like right now.
So if, as you kind of like look at like all this thing, dead center in the middle of this kind of like section of like spiced meats and foods, there is the holy grail of, in my opinion, the holy grail of takeaway food.
Doner kebab.
Well, doner kebab is good. There is doner meat there.
Okay, I thought you might say no. I was like, whoa. I want to accept some doner slander.
No, I love doner kebab. But I think it's kind of universally accepted that like this is like top tier takeaway food.
Okay.
There is a mountain of salt and chili chicken.
Okay. It is acceptable.
It's not chicken balls with curry, but it's good.
It's not chicken balls with curry. Chris,
Salt and chili chicken balls with curry, by the way. You can do both. Like, no one's stopping you.
Yeah, Chris, you see whenever you come over here, the takeaway food.
No, not just any takeaway. It's the dirty takeaway.
It's dirty takeaway. It's dirty takeaway food.
Dirty takeaway.
Belfast got good takeaway.
Mm-hmm. Sphinx.
I'm interested.
As a Scot, I can real recognizes real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, Kylo takes some of that. Kylo takes some of it. Kylo's like gonna eat. I mean, all he's had is that fucking sandwich that was like moldy at this point.
Yeah. A long rest sandwich.
And has been through like the long rest sandwich before it passes the sell by date and fucking it's passes its use by date and like been hit by a fiery inferno and it's like, right, well, I've kind of earned this.
Sorry.
Okay. Kronk.
Yes.
Is observing.
Takes one of the 2XL plates.
Kind of observes, right? Sees everything. Sees like these chicken tenders, sees mashed potatoes, sees gravy, sees buns, sees meat slabs of all different varieties. He goes, all right. And picks up the 2XL serving platter. Starts to create a masterpiece.
Okay.
Kronk lines the outside and the inside in two circles, kind of like a bullseye, with mashed potatoes, and places a bottom bun inside the mashed potato. Fills this with gravy, so it's kind of like a moat, and then stacks the chicken tenders on top of the bun, and then mashed potatoes, and then another type of meat, and then mashed potatoes, and then another type of meat, and then mashed potatoes, and just creates this meat and mashed potato just grand mountain, and sticks not a kebab, not a skewer, but some type of meat through this creation.
The sharpened bone of a tomahawk steak.
Absolutely. Sticks that through it and has this kind of tower with a moat of mashed potatoes around it, and looks at it and says, "This is good. This is."
And Geraldine has a normal plate of food. I take it like a normal
Geraldine
decent
has like
meal.
Geraldine has like chicken and chips.
Chicken chips, spot of sweet corn.
Yeah, like chicken strips and fries.
Kronk also took some like peas and kind of sprinkled them on the outside of like the outside layer to kind of act as a like kind of like looking grass out there.
Yeah.
You know.
There is also like caramelized onions and there's like the stuff to make like a nice steak dinner here if you wanted to. And Kronk, you actually spend long enough at this one specific station creating this masterpiece. You notice that there is a completely untouched tub of peppercorn sauce, which is just a crime that it's untouched. Peppercorn sauce slaps.
Would they eat a whole tub though? I mean, to be fair, they did eat 3 cubic meters of eggs, so probably.
Yeah.
A glass of peppercorn sauce.
Kronk gets a glass. I like the crunch.
So
yeah.
what's the seating situation like? Where's everybody sitting? What do the groups look like? Can we approach this like a dating sim? Like we have to.
The groups, as you kind of go in, it's busy. There's a lot of people that come in, get food, and then leave.
Follow Kyler. Hang on.
Okay. There is like a lot of people who like come in, get food, and then leave. There's people sitting down at tables. You can kind of see, rather than cliques, people are like separated by classes. So you can see like people who are very obviously rogues, all kind of sitting in like the dark corner. Ones who are like clerics who are kind of sitting where the sun is like streaming in on them. It's kind of easy to see and look at people and go, I know what you are.
I know what you are.
You filthy Athenians.
But there is there's a few like there are these. It's a mixture of like large round tables, and then the kind of like rectangular table with like bench seats.
Kyler would like to find a group of relative misfits who seem to not be like divided by their class or their skill, like a sort of mandem, if you will. That's not the man, but like a mandem, and just try and see what's life like for them. Maybe if they're upperclassmen, like I don't think I would be intimidated by that. But like, you know what I mean?
Kyler finds the fucking Power Rangers.
Kyler finds the Power Rangers. They're all wearing color-coordinated clothes. Like everyone has like monocolor outfits.
Please.
As you're like going through and like kind of like scanning the room.
Looking for a place we'd be welcome like open editions and not like you can sit with us like generally like looking for somewhere where like people seem to kind of be gathering that's kind of open to it.
There is, you notice on like not necessarily the far side of the room, but kind of like halfway between you and the far wall, there's a table that looks relatively quiet. And it's not that people are avoiding it. People are kind of like looking at it and then walking away. But there's a group of about 3 individuals who are engrossed in a card game that they are playing.
I'm tempted. Are they first years? Are they upperclassmen? What's the?
You can't really tell from here. They sit in that kind of weird age, like that weird like facial range of where they could be like 17 or they could be like 24. Do you know what I mean?
Gonna lean over to Geraldine because Kyler doesn't know and be like, "Do you know what they're playing? What are they playing? What's going on?"
Geraldine looks over and just goes, "It looks like some sort of deck building game, but I'm not really sure."
Kronk's been in a lot of like bars and stuff like that. Would he recognize it?
I think it's like Magic the Gathering.
I was about to say it's fucking Magic the Gathering, isn't it?
Kronk, if
or like,
you like
Dominion.
Well, Kronk, are you going to like walk over and have a look, or are you going to try and see it from where you are?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go for
yeah,
Kronk.
Yeah.
Plop the big plate of food down and just start reading cards like with a rib. Not wanting to disturb the game, and thus being the most disturbing thing possible. Like, oh, please continue.
Kronk, as you kind of walk over, you do recognize this. Wouldn't necessarily be a thing underwater, so Kyler wouldn't know it. Geraldine probably never would have had the friends to play it with. But Kronk, you've seen people play this. You don't necessarily know how to play it yourself. This is Mundane, the Convergence.
Jesus Christ.
Classic.
And there are these three individuals who are playing a form of game mode called Three-Headed Hydra, who are...
It's 3 Dragon Anti, you motherfucker.
You notice they're kind of like playing all these cards, and if you didn't know the rules, it sounds like they're doing like Eldritch invocations. You kind of walk up, and one's like, I power cycle for 3 arcane energy, and then I play, and they're kind of like going over this. These rules do seem similar to MTG.
Wait, is this fucking Commander? Is this EDH version? Is this what they're playing?
This isn't EDH, because there is an element of deck building in this. There is an
EDH as well.
Oh no, but as in there's like a communal pile of cards.
Oh, they're basically drafting. Okay.
Yeah, they're in the middle. They're doing like a live draft in a
Amazing.
match.
That's incredible.
Kyle's just gonna continue to observe and see if any of them if they look at him, he'll say something, but otherwise he's content to just kind of watch as he drinks a glass of soup. Like,
as you just kind of stand and watch, none of them like rip their attention away from the match. And as they're playing, one of them kind of goes, can we help you guys? They're not looking at you, still like playing his cards, and kind of like, can I power tap for 2? Help you guys?
We were just watching. Is that all right?
Yeah, we're just practicing for the tournament coming up.
a tournament, you say? Are you an accomplished what's the word? Card sharp?
Yeah, we're part of the TTTCG club.
TTTCG? You made that up.
Tabletop trading card games.
Oh, okay. Cool, man. Cool. Don't let me disturb you. Don't let me disturb you. And Kyle's gonna take a steak and like go, like with shark-like teeth, just rip the steak in half.
There is a moment where the juice of the steak kind of goes
No.
and hits like right beside the cards. Doesn't touch any of them, but hits right beside them, and they all kind of pause and move the cards slightly away from where the juice is.
Kronk reaches over and goes,
Okay, we'll not. We'll go. We'll sit somewhere else. Sorry, were you guys?
No. You guys are welcome to stay. We play in front of people at the tournament. It's we're just in the middle of trying to create a new game mode, and you can see they're like, you can see that they're kind of trying to figure out the rules as they go, which is a very strange to watch, but they are essentially they are playing the game mode that, as they explain it to you, they're calling it mercenary, where the resource pool isn't shared, but the unit pool is shared. So you're pulling from you're essentially putting together a private militia to fight against another private militia, but you only have the resources that you can build from, and you have to pull from whatever the fucking like the hiring stack has available. Which is, as you watch it for longer, it gets very complicated. And 19 intelligence Kyler is probably like, oh, this could be some really good brain exercise. 8 intelligence Kyler would shit, piss, cry, fart, come. Do you know what I mean?
6 intelligence Kyler, by the way. It's not even 8. It's
intelligence.
the 6 intelligence. Underwater, he's like a good 12. But like above water, he's a 6.
By the way,
nodding.
just so you guys know, Darcy was feeling ill, so just not to mess up the overlay, she just closed the thing over on her camera.
Cool.
That is her for the night. just because she wasn't feeling well. So.
Well, I mean,
No
you know,
worries.
Uriel Sabrethan invaded her dreams. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Uriel
gonna-
Sabrethan has that effect on all women. You know what
Guys
I'm
gonna-
saying.
Making them feel ill.
Yeah,
I have not
absolutely.
had very much luck in terms of my romantic relationships.
To what extent is this game fictional? Like, because like I know in Boruto they have like a ninja card game with like actual ninjas from like the war and stuff. Do they have like cards with like actual adventures and stuff on them?
Yeah, they do.
Can I like history check them or something? Like,
You can try, yeah.
see if I recognize anybody. Okay, I'll do a guidance because Kyler's like that. So +2 history. 16.
16. You do notice you do recognize a couple of them. There's a lot. You as you're watching it, you kind of realize that some of these cards are newer as well, and you realize this must be like the most recent expansion release. Because there's current adventuring streamers who are cards. There's dungeon streamers who are cards. They're not super powerful, but like they're popular, so they're put in there.
Is there any chance that there'd be like a wrestling expansion?
You do as you're kind of like as they are like playing, there are like a couple of like prominent monk cards. Some prominent like just general like bar fighters and that kind of thing. Not necessarily wrestling, but people that you would know and you would respect as like masters of their craft.
Anybody that I would have met or fought?
Neither of those people. It's kind of like like it's like playing like a WWE card game and then seeing like Hulk Hogan. It's like I know who that is. Never met him.
Like old,
Has-
respected.
Yeah.
Well, respected. You know, Hulk Hogan. You know,
Yeah, I
sucks,
mean-
but
Has Kyler? That's the question. Like, because Kyler met any of these people?
No, Kyler's not. These are like legend status cards that are like these ones because these are like people who like originated fighting styles.
oh, that's Bondre the Giant. Bondre the Big.
That's Bondre the Beefy.
That's the overfaker.
The overfaker. The overgiver instead of the undertaker. Yeah, so there's a couple of cards like that. You guys do after a while sit down and just kind of watch this happening, and after about 10-15 minutes they finish up their game with one of the three who's kind of he looks like he's in very like simple black kind of lightweight clothing, like a black t-shirt, jeans, and like red chucks. Do you know what I mean? Who kind of sits back and stretches, and he goes, I
You want
don't
me to
like.
crack her back for you, dude?
Oh no, I think you'd kill me.
No, of course not.
He's a very scrawny individual, so there is a chance Kyler would just go, "Oh, come on, buddy."
Snap.
He's at an adventuring academy. He's not 1d6, you know, of hell.
He's not
right?
one. He's not 1d6.
He might
but
be a
could
wizard.
Yeah.
It could still hurt though, right? Like, it could still hurt.
It could still hurt if the constitution's not very high.
What about me? I could crack your back.
Definitely not.
Oh, come on. I'm a gentle giant.
So, what should we call you three? What's your guys' names? Is
Well, like I said, we're the TCG club. But
is
if
that
you
what
want-
your mom and dad call you? Like, what's your name, dude?
Well, the one that you're talking to, who has this kind of slick backed at the front, but then as it gets like halfway back the head, it just kind of turns into this like curly, crazy mess of hair. Elf, half elf, possibly. You're not quite sure. You're not sure if the features are like gaunt because they're scrawny, or gaunt because they are an elf.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Owen. Owen in common. Owen is a shortened version of my elf name.
Cool.
There's Earthsea. Earthsea is this female Aarakocra who is very slim build, but a very large head and a huge beak, almost looking like a toucan. And she just kind of looks over and she just like tilts her head rather than saying anything. Owen looks at you and goes, "She's a little bit insecure about her voice. She doesn't like, speaking too much." And then this is Septi. And the one who won the match, the kind of scrawny human. He's kind of like dark bags under the eyes. Looks like the emo character in any like slice of life anime.
Ishigami from fucking Love is War.
Sepsi, did you say his name was?
Septi.
Septi.
Except him without the M, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realize that is
What? Oh, did somebody say something in the chat?
Wait, let me have a look.
Darcy just said recovering from being ill with cold.
Ouch.
1 second. Darcy is asking for her comfort blanket being delivered. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Comfort blanket.
Run, Forrest, run. I do like
top trading card role playing.
TTTCGC Tabletop Trading Card Game Club.
Wait, I've just copped onto something.
What?
Is Uriel Sabrathan's name a play on Uriel Septim from fucking Oblivion?
No. It's a play on Uriel, the archangel from Catholic mythology, and Seraphim. That's what it's from. So the Seraphim Uriel, Seraphim, Sabrathan. I was just fucking with the.
Okay, no,
pronunciation.
because like when Mook said the character's name is it's like Septim with it without the M. I was like, hang on a second. And
Typer Septim's gonna show up now.
Yeah, and just 2 and 3 started to equal 17, and I just thought, wait, was like Uriel Sabrathan's name inspired by Uriel Septim, aka Patrick Stewart from Oblivion?
It was inspired by all the fucking books I had to read in a Catholic high school. That's where it's from, ultimately. But yeah, Kai's gonna nod and kind of go, well, I should never ask for something I wouldn't part with myself. And goes, this is Geraldine. She's kind of having a rough one right now. Wouldn't ask. And of course...
I'm willing to part with Geraldine.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And this, of course, here is Kronk the Unrelenting. I mean, if you're into your wrestling, you might know Zwan's Gauntlet. He's currently 3-0, which is, I gather, quite impressive. And I'm Kyler Crestwave, the third of such name. I'm from Under the Sea, and I am really enjoying this food that you guys have up here. It's a lot different, but I don't hate it. And Kyle's going to then take a slurp of the soup in the glass.
Kyler, I've actually got a question for you. I read something online earlier. Are there black mermaids?
Yeah.
Alright, I just read something online. Don't worry about it. I was just curious.
It's okay. I mean, some people don't believe in them, but those people
Don't believe in them?
kind of fucking morons, right? I mean,
That's weird, because you would see them with your own eyes, wouldn't you?
yeah. I have dallied with many a mermaid, shall we say? I have had my dalliances. But yeah, are you guys like first years like us, or are you guys second, third? What's the score?
As Kyler is talking about laying pipe under the water like British oil.
Jesus Christ.
Call me BP the way I lay the pipe underwater.
Call me Shell. I'm about to spill my oil.
Oh, I was trying to think of a good. God damn it.
Sorry.
Oh God. As these guys are like, you watch as they're kind of like separating out the cards and like this, they fixing them back into like smaller decks now. They kind of turn and go, "Are you guys first years?"
We're first years. We're the Mandem.
Hello.
Is it like a collective or?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
our
I-
adventuring
actually-
band.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
what it
okay.
means, really.
That's pretty early in the year to be making an adventuring party. Usually you don't do that until your third or fourth month in one of the classes.
When you know,
well,
you know, right?
it was an accident mostly. We met in a train station, and the rest is history.
Kyler's gonna really deeply look into Septi's eyes for a second and just go, "Do you believe in destiny?"
Sapti just like looks at you and goes, "I don't have dreams. Otherwise, I probably would. But I've often heard people say that dreams are a precognition effect of what many would believe to be destiny. I don't really have those, so no."
Thought that dreams were a wish your heart makes. Dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
And Kyler's gonna just take another sip of soup and then a rib. Just go. So wait, are we doing something wrong? I mean, like we kind
Taking
of
the rib, dipping it into the soup.
I thought
Are
I
we
thought you
doing
said
something
a rip.
wrong?
I thought you had a fucking. I thought you said a rip. I thought you had a bong.
It's got water in it, guys. It's totally good for you. Like, yeah, but we kind of met. Yeah,
Did you guys hear that whenever I made that noise?
Yeah.
no.
I
Okay.
didn't hear it.
Give me a second here.
Yeah, that's coming through now.
Oh fuck!
But yeah, we all met in this like train station, and then we got sent on a quest because we
Met
were
in a
like,
train station. We killed the professor. How are you doing?
Well, he's not dead.
One of them opens their eyes and goes, "You killed the professor?"
No, someone else attacked the professor. We got him back to life.
I guess we really
Somewhere Drazian's having an aneurysm that you two are giving away top fucking secret classified information.
All right, let me
a
tell you
trio of
actually
randos.
everything. Do you know the Boulevard family? Have you heard of Drazian and his past?
So
Shut up,
There's
Chris!
this guy, right? It's
You
This
heard
is
of
like our
the
first
Isarian
the
theocracy?
secret.
This is like our first day, like, because we were away on this like mission. Like they were like, "I'll get some work experience." I was like, "It's a bit early for work experience, but got to make my dad proud." And then I was like, "Oh," and then all his like murder and like that's why Geraldine's been really quiet today because there was well, I mean, her dad's not as cool as my dad, shall we say, and it was a whole thing,
My dad's just really supportive.
I imagine
sent
your
me
dad would be Kronk. You have good father energy.
Yeah, I just have, my parents, I don't really talk about them very much, but they're very supportive from a distance back on the mountaintop. I don't have a dramatic backstory or anything. I just have a supportive family.
You know that saying, "Shout it from the mountaintops." My parents do. We love you.
Yeah, they're like, we love you. I need to visit them sometime, probably, but,
What do you guys want to be
there's a bit far
adventurers? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look at the three.
Oin kind of looks at you and goes, I don't really want to be an adventurer. I want to make things. I'm in the artificer classes. I made this guy." And you watch as he kind of pulls out from underneath the desk it's about 1.5 feet tall, robot. Like, it kind of looks like, do you remember, this is going to be like either a really big flashback or like you're not going to understand what
A
I'm talking about.
whoosh or a flashback, right? Okay.
No, they were called Sapiens, and it was
That's a whoosh.
the white and black robots.
Yeah, I remember
It's a whoosh for me.
I'm going to send
Like
it.
Bionicles. I'll
Google. It's a Robo Sapien toy.
Robo Sapien. I found a manga. Oh no, I recognize
Yes,
them.
I vividly remember these.
Yeah, so Robo Sapien, it kind of looks like one of that, except it looks like it's powered down right now.
What year did you say these guys were?
They didn't tell us actually.
They asked if you guys were first years, so you can assume that they're upperclassmen.
Mm-hmm. Are there like
Senpai.
badges showing or anything? Do they have their adventure rank?
No, they all have like bags that are on the floor. You assume most of their stuff is probably in there.
I want to steal all their things. Pickpocket.
I would like to.
Chris has been
hold
waiting
them at
19
knife point
sessions.
and mug them.
I've been waiting 19 sessions for this heel turn.
If you genuinely want to look through like rifles,
No. I'll just ask them. What year, you guys? That's really cool. Did it take you a long time to make that?
I'm me and Septi are both second years, and Ersty is a third year.
Oh, that's really cool. See, I bet you have a beautiful voice.
Earthsea just kind of like looks at you, and if a bird could blush, she would. But unfortunately, the areas where blood would rush to are covered by feather. So she just kind of goes, and that's the emotion that you see is.
Looks like the gay friend in a 90s sitcom. Honey.
Kronk says, so second year, so does it do damage then? Like it fights? Or does it...
You watch as he goes, if we can stand back a second.
Cat picks up the plate of food and just stands back.
Yeah, Kronk like sets it on another table.
As he kind of like he pushes himself back a little bit and he goes, 1, activate. And you watch as the little robot kind of whirs into life, and these kind of clacking of mechanical joints kind of go and come into life, and it kind of like gets up and begins to look around. It goes,
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Can I get closer? Can I take a peek at it? I'm not going to touch it.
He doesn't hurt. I just like to make sure I have my distance, because there can sometimes be a little bit of a spark that flies out from him when he first turns on. I'm working on it.
All right. Do you mind if I get a little bit closer? Is that all right?
Go right ahead.
Kronk gets like real close. Kronk does not touch it, but like just gets closer, like takes a look. He's intrigued because Kronk didn't really know magic, and he doesn't really understand like phones or anything like that. It's just like, you know, the magic box that you touch or whatever. He doesn't think it's magic. Like he knows his technology, but you know, this is like bonkers.
Yeah. As you get closer, you do like you're quite close, and one turns to look at you, and there's no face, like there's no facial features. It's just kind of this like round orbish head with like a carving where the eyes would be. And it has rather than having like fully articulate hands, it's kind of like it has claw hands. So just like this. And one kind of reaches up and reaches out and like pats you on the side of the face. It's like, that was his attempt at a high five. I've basically put in this algorithm, this learning mechanism where he is going to learn by himself. And
that is excellent.
I call it AI, arcane intelligence.
I put out my finger because I imagine it's not very large, right?
No. It's only about a foot tall, foot and a half.
I put out like a finger or like my hand for like the high five to maybe work a little bit better.
It it looks at you and you're not sure quite what it's doing. You maybe feel like it's like reading what you're doing, trying to like culminate in an appropriate response.
Mm-hmm.
It reaches out and it pulls your finger.
Kronk does fart.
Whoa! This robot has humor.
I love this robot. I love you, One. You're doing great. This is a very cool robot. I enjoy it very much.
It's pretty badass, and like Typhon wasn't built in a day. Like, keep working at it. And Kylo's gonna continue shoveling food, like he's getting through this.
Yeah. As this is all happening, a couple of other students have kind of like come up and are like gathering around. And this is the first time you hear a voice that kind of cuts through the rest of the crowd, and as it does cut through the rest of the crowd goes quiet. And you kind of hear this. What do we have here then? A group of misfits sitting together? What are they going to do?
Kyler's gonna stand up use detect good and evil because this guy sounds so much like a fucking villain. Like, holy, sounds like an 80s movie villain.
Like, Croc's like, what's going on? Is there some kind of joke talking? What's going on here?
And Kyler's gonna stand up and, like, turn around with, like, a bit of toast hanging out his mouth, like, what?
The crowd kind of parts as you guys both stand up, and you see they're in this really, like, fine kind of plate armor is some sort of air genasi who's standing across from you, and he's like leaning on a great sword, like under his chin. What do you think standing up is going to make me afraid of you, blue boy?
Wait, dude, you don't even have any color. What the fuck? Like, are you trying to be, like, racist to me, dude? Like, I don't care. Like, why do you sound like that?
Kronk turns away and goes, who is this guy? What's going on? Like, it's like neither of us are taking this guy seriously, and he's trying to be so hard. We're like, who is this guy?
My G, literally all you can do is blow hot air.
That's how you guys are kind of like going off here. Oin kind of like reaches up and grabs this edge of your battle jacket, Kyler, and like looks up at you and goes, "Not him, no."
Not. What's your name? To the Air Genasi.
My name is Taunter.
Taunter.
Is it
like
no,
a bit no, no, no. Two taunts?
No, Taunter, like Taunter and lightning.
Oh, thunder. Okay.
Yes, thunder.
Thunder. Do you have a problem? I need to know. Like, is this going to be a thing?
Do you understand who my family is?
Your family is, dude. I can play this fucking game. I do not give a fuck. Would you like to play this game with me? You go for it. No. I give you the honor, please.
My family has graduated out of True Arms Academy every year for 45 years.
Every year? You must have a lot of kids.
We do. My parents, they are, how you say, very bored.
Oh.
So you're on the legacy track, really? Okay.
How do Air Genasi have sex? Oh, sorry, you guys are...
That's a very personal question to ask.
Yeah, dude. Kronk. To be fair, like.
He came up and started shit. I don't know. I'm just trying to learn. It's a school.
Hey, Kronk, you were
trying to
getting at
look.
me for saying about eldritch monstrosities and staring.
Yeah,
at my
literally,
face
like,
insanely,
I was about
and
to say
now
that
you're
in
going,
character.
how do you fuck?
All right. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to learn. I guess. All right. No, you go ahead. Wait till you hear what Kyler is.
My name's Kyler Crestwave, the third. I'm the son of Kyler Crestwave, the second.
The second. Cronc's ad-libbing behind him like a rapper.
Hey, Mom.
Kyle's gonna tuck his hands behind his head, like. I mean, you know, graduating's pretty cool. Is being a founding patron cooler? I think it might be.
Patron.
Thunder kind of walks up to you and goes, "You see, you're saying that your name's Kyler Crestwave the Third. What I'm hearing is that you have no personality, so you copy your daddy." As he says this, there's an entourage of 3 or 4 other people who kind of walk up behind him, and these guys are all like, most people in here are like in fairly casual clothing, maybe like rough, kind of like adventuring leathers, like if they need to go out or do something. But these guys are like kitted out in like high, like really impressive gear, or impressive looking at least. And
I guess I don't feel. Oh, I was gonna say, I guess I don't feel the need to stand out as much if I don't have 44 siblings. Like, to be fair.
Yikes!
I mean, what you're telling me there is that Daddy doesn't get his dick wet.
It's literally wet all the time. He's underwater.
That is besides the point.
But it was literally the point he meant. I'm sorry, Kyle. I'm taking your thunder away. Oh, I'm sorry, your lightning.
This guy is antagonistic for the sake of being antagonistic.
Are we gonna do? Oh, I was. Oh,
is this just? Yeah. Okay. So is this just like a rap battle? Or what are we doing here?
Are we gonna do this? Like, are we gonna do this? I'll do this if we're gonna do this. Are we gonna do this?
I'm not here to do anything. I'm just here to make sure that the group that wasn't here for the first week of school is showing the school its proper respect, and is making sure that they show respect to the people who deserve it.
Really, could you point them out to me? Could you point them out to me?
He kind of like does the thing where he like bites his lip out of anger. It's like, I'm not going to point them out, but I'm sure these fellas will. And they all, his entourage all kind of like look at each other and then point at him. Oh, look at that, the unanimous decision.
Did you rehearse that? What?
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Was that, how long did that take you? Was that like, did you need to rent out the theater, like a stage, and do that?
I'm so sad I'm not here for this right now.
You can see he's kind of like clicking on to the fact that you guys aren't going to fall for this intimidation. And he's kind of like, well, you know who I am now. And
I
you know...
don't even know your name, really. I mean, it's Thunder, but you didn't give like a family name.
Oh, who needs a family name when every one of us is so special?
Well, if all 45 of it are special, when everyone's super, no one is, my guy. Come on.
You know, are you an upperclassman? What year are you in, Thunder?
Oh, I'm in your year, which is why
you're in my year.
I audibly, Kronk like starts laughing, like he's doubling over laughing.
Well, then I know that I ranked higher than you in the entrance exam.
Did you? You finished first. And you watch
as so did your parents.
He pulls out from beneath his plate armor an adventurer's license, like the symbol on a chain, and it is a bear.
Kyler's gonna pull out his and like go. I think we have to now. Oh, I think
he puts it away and he just goes, I'm not going to start petty squabbles with the riffraff.
What
If you
about
want to settle
What-
this, there is class. Or who knows? Maybe we will come across each other on one of the many quests we will do in our future.
but what's your posse's name? Do you have like a name? Like what are their names?
They are not important.
That's really dismissive. I feel like you guys should form a union or something. I feel like he's really talking down on you. He's making you train. I bet he's not paying you anything.
Most of the entourage seem unfazed by this. One of them kind of goes, like, looks side to side to the others, sees that they're unfazed, and then kind of goes,
He's saying you're not important. I mean, if you're running with him, you know what I mean? I mean,
Kyle,
Mandem's fairly accepting, that's all I'm saying. We'll hang out with you. And we know the value of a true musical number.
Kyler's gonna tuck the badge away, look at Thunder, and kind of just with the 19 intellect now, just goes, you know, it's appropriate that you're called Thunder, because I have a feeling you're always gonna come second in everything you try. So, and Kyler's gonna take a step up onto the stool, and fucking just go, my name is Kyler Crestwave, and I am going to be the #1 adventurer in White Fawn in the Ocean. And if anyone agrees with me, party on the weekend. I can't remember what the weekend is. Party on the weekend across the river. Look for the house with the dragon turtle. And then Kyle's gonna take Trina and like stick its prongs into the table and just spread the arms like, do you want to fight? We'll fight now. Otherwise, there's the gauntlet.
Kronk starts the cheer like, yeah, dragon turtle, yeah.
there's a number of people join in on the cheer, and it kind of turns into this, like, these two opposing factions of people who are like, both of these guys say, I don't want to choose sides, and like a group who is like, fucking yeah, let's go. Someone's finally spoke up to one of these motherfuckers. Like, fuck this family lineage. And you see Thunder kind of gets like a bit, and he walks towards the door with his entourage following him, and he turns around and they split, so like you can see him perfectly between them. And he brings the great sword down and he points it at you and he goes, just remember that lightning is but a flash and thunder is always heard, and walks away. Doesn't take you long to realize that that doesn't actually mean anything.
No.
But it kind of sounded cool because he walked away so quickly.
Yeah, like it was like, oh, it's like, you know, one of those like things like, the word here is in the word heart. Like yeah, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Kyle's gonna pull Trina out from the table, having done it with like considerable, like it's kind of splintered the wood a bit. It's kind of going to go,
Yeah.
and then sits back down and goes, "What a fucking dickhead! Pardon my Elvish," and then starts eating again. Like,
As
I
you're
have to plan a party now.
As you're eating, you look across the table to see the widened, sad eyes of Earthsty. And you look at the top of Trina and find one of her cards pierced.
Oh.
And that is where we are going to end that session.
No!
Berto.
New cantrip just dropped. Repair Magic the Gathering card.
You could fix it with mending, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you can fix
genuinely.
that
You can fix it. No, you can. Yeah, you can fix it with mending. It's just like, fuck! I've got to plan a party. What are you sad for?
The next Hokage, a ninja legend. Believe it.
So yeah, I think
That's everything I hoped for. I was really hoping there'd be some 80s movie fucking characters here.
there absolutely is. Thunder or Thunder is going to be your kind of Do you know the way there's always the character in a movie where it's like, oh, we're competing to be the best without ever actually fighting, kind of thing,
yeah.
until it gets to the point where it's like, ah, and then it's just going to turn into a brawl. That's the character.
I love that.
That's the kind of character he's built off of. Whether you guys actually fight or not is entirely up to yourselves.
I feel it'd be very out of character for Kyler to swing first at this guy, but he definitely would not be afraid to swing back. Was kind of my thinking. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for the session, Mark. It's good to be back.
It is very good to be back, and a good chunky session tonight. 3.5 hours coming up on.
Uriel Sabrafan and Thunder. I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
You played a fucking blinder tonight, Mugs, like with the King Solas and
I was saying this on the break, but you near perfectly described my granddad's house with the like wooden fences surrounded in the garden and everything. I was like, holy shit, this is like near fucking exact.
It very much just kind of went into what does an old Irish house look like, and kind of pulled from that. So,
Tabletop Notch is live.
Yeah.
Tabletop Notch is live, indeed.
Yeah, we can go into them.
So.
We can also, Riot Games League of Legends Worlds is live right now. They've only got 327,000. I think they could use the boost.
Amaranth is live right now. I feel like we could probably check in on her.
I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna be on.
Hey, Amaranth is like the titty streamer.
Ah, okay.
I'm actually super surprised you don't know who Amaranth is.
Do you know the one who like kind of started the whole streaming in a hot tub thing?
Oh, is it her?
Yeah,
Fair play.
Yeah,
she cracked the meta.
Honestly, pretty revolutionary. I think
she's done some fairly shady things though. Like
I'm sure she has.
She's a little bit shady.
She's done some shady things, but business and like content wise, she knows what she's doing. She's so smart.
Business wise is great, but when you're selling to minors is when I have a problem.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's pretty shitty. Do you guys want like another D&D channel, or will we just do tabletop?
We'll just do tabletop notes. They're there, so we might as well go into them.
Fair is fair.
So thank you guys for coming. We'll be back next week on
Advanced _ Dungeons.
Which we'll try and fix before next week. Can we fix it before next week?
I think we can. I'm not 100% buddy.
We can certainly try.
What is that?
So, we will love yous and leave yous. Go show some love. If you've got points, quickly get the D20 Harbor Lord raid emote for 480 points. This is it. Go ahead, go use that. Love yous.
Sweet. Love yous and leave yous. Bye.
Bye.